All right. How there, everybody. It's been a while since I've been here talking to everything, but life's been going good. Me and the gang, we got together and finally got our magical teleportation circle ready in the morning. Gathered together, got our thing stuff. Everybody got up in the morning, got in the circle, and teleported over to our new city. Nice place. Very, very roomy. We discovered a little things. What were there? We met these. What were they? The Lost and Founders, something like that. I'm actually trying to play. What was it? The
Lost and Found.
Yeah, the Lost. Yeah, it was right. Yeah, the Lost and Founders. Like, yeah, the good group of people. They're basically out there working for how to put it. They out there to finding people's designs and people and jobs. Basically, like a do-gooder mercenary group. Quite like them. Went down to visit. The group also split up and explored the city. Einar went to go beat his metal as he normally does, as he met some talking Kenku man. Meanwhile, our new party member with Aurelia and Miss Evelyn went off to go for lunch, and I met him part way, and we all gathered some food together. As our co, Lucy kind of just wandered off on her own. Not quite sure where she is right now, honestly. I hope she gets back before dark, because Miss Evelyn was telling me this place is dangerous, and there's been a bunch of kidnappings around town. Terrible stuff, just terrible. I'm hoping I can help people. I did promise Miss Evelyn that Marcus would not go out at night. Though I do have a work around that. But in any case, we're back, got ourselves our in rooms, and we're ready to get going. Hopefully Candy will be joining us. We had to leave her back at the place to take care of some things, but we did give her the message to get over when she's all done and ready to go. In any case, I believe that's everything. Unless I missed something important. I think I got the bigs.
Yeah. Pretty much.
There you go, Nikki. Merry Christmas.
Yay! And it's not even December.
Being a mom is hard.
Alrighty. So, it is still, I think you guys went out for lunch, so it's still roughly time.
I thought we were getting back from lunch at the end of last game, though I could be remembering wrong.
Yeah, no. You had lunch and then you were getting back from it, so it would be like around this time.
Yeah, it's about yeah.
Okay. So, Candy.
Yes.
While everyone is away, you and Syl were investigating the forests nearby.
Okay.
Seemingly because there seems to be some sort of Fey-like disturbances in the area, and that's why you were kind of looking into it, because Syl pointed it out. He said you'll find them in the city after a bit of investigation and everything.
I guess, would you be able to message me if anything was found?
I need you to make a check.
Okay.
I need you to make either an Arcana or Nature check.
Also, oof.
Actually, probably one of both, actually.
Double oof. Okay. Arcana. Nature.
Okay. With the Arcana check, as you're investigating throughout the area, it seems like there's some sort of magical disturbance around here. But you try for the few days that you were looking and with Syl, trying to figure out if you could find anything. And I'll say, no, roll me two more. One more of each, just because of the time that's taken, and you've kind of oof. Okay.
One better. For the next day, I tried a little harder.
Yeah, just a slight bit harder. Looking around in the area, you can't quite put your finger on it. But with the Arcana check, there's some sort of magical disturbance in this area. And with the nature check, you spotted something, some sort of beast that doesn't look like it belongs. And when you tried to, it seemed to look like a dog of some sort. And when you tried to like approach it, it teleported away.
Oh.
So that is all you found over the period of time, and you figured that after that amount of time, and the others kind of left for the city, and trying a little bit more on that day, not getting any other information, you figured it's probably time to join the others. And you would meet where is she? I will this thing. All the tokens are broken apparently, and I need to re-pull them out again. Sick.
Rip.
Imora. I will show her art.
Forgetting your own damn characters' names. Shame.
Oh yeah, all the tokens are wow. I was
Oh,
also
wow.
noticing that the imaging for my combat stuff is also broken.
Oh my.
Yeah, I was doing a few fixes and of mods and things, because some of the
hello.
stuff was broken.
Fixes they were.
It's
Um.
Down, Nikki, down.
well,
I bet she's pretty. Her pretty girl.
Rip to you,
but
but I'm
no.
different.
All the
Oh
tokens.
yeah, she kind of
need
just
to be
shoves her
removed.
titties in your face. Huh? It just popped up, and I was like, "Whoa!"
But she would be the one who is currently taking care of any work charges, and teleportation to and from your keep. You would find her basically about center nearish, like your keep center at the moment, where there's a lot of open space currently directing the workers around. And approaching her, I don't know if you wanted to have the conversation. Nikki.
So where is she?
She is currently like in the center, like currently where there's the most covering ground to kind of direct everyone around.
Oh, so she's like the guide for the teleportation area?
She's basically handling teleportation and any work official orders. What was her official title? I wrote down. Basically a consulate.
I totally know what that is. Okay.
Basically, like a governing official that you refer to handle like any government work orders or whatever. So she's currently handling like if you want to spend more money to increase the speed of upgrading the or rebuilding the keep, or if you wanted to issue a work order to build something else. That's all handled through her, which she then refers to other cities and towns to lend help to your keep.
So she's the first one I see when I teleport in?
Yes. No, she's the first one. She's the one who teleports you to the city. So I don't know if you want to have a conversation with her. If we can skip over it, since you basically already met her.
Okay. So then she would okay, we've already met.
Yeah.
Okay, so then she's on the home side then.
Yeah.
Okay, then in that case it would literally be Candy just go like, "You look so pretty today, okay, bye!" And then she'll jump in.
Okay. She'll teleport with you because she needs to transport a few more workers and things, so she'll go with you. And then
I said bye
handle
too
things.
early.
You know, it's fine. If you're looking for your friends in Albasta, you'll probably find them in perhaps the Lost Fawn. It's inn that is very common, well, very big, and in the town center. That might be best where you find them. If not, at Britain here, they should be around doing matters.
Oh, no. I'm sure if I can't find them, then I'll be able to scope them out. I'm really good at finding people. I'm sure I won't get lost.
Okay. Well, good luck.
I will need it. And she'll walk off.
Okay. So as you go and wander towards the town center, roll me a perception check.
Okay. I don't know if it helps or if it's gonna cause an issue, but she's gonna like cup her hands around her mouth and just start shouting everyone's name when she walks around the city.
Fair enough.
Would Marcus' 22 perception pick up?
That's
Oh, damn, never mind.
Jeez. As you walk around throughout the city, you notice that it's very hard to pinpoint the race diversity here. You mostly see quite a lot of humanoid half-elves and elves, but there is such a spattering of different races of tieflings, asthma, dwarves, gnomes, genasi, just all kinds that is very hard to pinpoint what is like that just there's just so much racial diversity here.
They got
Storm.
all
Lucia.
flavors of cupcakes.
Okay, I can give you an easy hint how she can find the party. Let's be honest. When Marcus is walking, he'll be doing what he did before and just walking up and down light lampposts.
Yeah. I'll say eventually you'll kind of are heading towards the town center. Lucia, you would hear Candy first. You're currently working inside.
Would I though being inside?
No, roll perception check. I was gonna say you were outside working on something, but no. Okay, you're inside then. Currently, yeah, no, you wouldn't hear anything. Einar, would you be heading back after speaking with Werble?
Probably.
Okay. Einar, and I guess Evelyn and Marcus, you're both heading back as well after lunch?
Yeah, that was the plan.
Okay. Alright, so all three of you can make me perception checks.
Along with Aurelia, but yeah.
Yeah.
Perception.
26.
Not surprised.
Alright.
Let me forget. Sorry, my brain like forgot how fucking Foundry worked for a moment. There we go. Oh, that's god damn it.
Right click.
Yeah, you can right click to reveal.
Reveal. Thank you.
Nice. So well, the three of you who are headed for lunch can hear Candy's voice kind of like just slightly peeking over the sound of the market because no one's really yelling there. But Candy is just like screaming out your names and you can
She's
hear...
like tearing apart her vocal cords.
I know you're too busy kind of like thinking about what exactly to do at the moment. It's just slightly peeking over the sounds of the marketplace. So it's just enough like you need to be perceptive to hear, otherwise you would be focusing on it. But Einar, you're currently focusing on what to craft, what to smith for the competition and ideas in your head. But yeah.
So Marcus will jump up onto the nearest lamppost and shout out, Candy! And
She'll shout back out. She'll shout back, Marcus!
But Marcus and Evelyn, you do spot Einar.
Evelyn just sort of mumbles something under her breath before looking over towards Candy and just like, "Oh, hey, nice of you to join us."
Candy will
I would
dash on
yell,
over.
but yeah.
Hi guys, how have you been doing?
I would say all right. We recently just ate. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you for asking. Oh, did you know we apparently have a teleporting puppy pet at our place?
Teleporting. What?
Yeah, I decided to name him Butterscotch. He keeps running away when I get too close, but I'm sure we'll catch him at some point.
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah,
Just
I don't know what he
suppose
is.
a bit of a question, Candy. Would you say that butterscotch looked somewhat like Syl?
Holds chin and looks over at Syl. Squints.
No. Resounding no.
But Mark looks over at Evelyn. You saying Sill's a dog?
I don't know if you like turn your head a little this way. He's got a little that kind of puppy look. If you here, give me a smile. Can you give me a smile?
Maybe it's not Sill's dog, right? Because I did heard dogs can look like their owners after a while.
Do I know
Squints at
anything
you.
of teleporting puppies by chance?
Roll me a nature or arcana check. No, roll me a nature check.
Okay.
Actually, both work. Both work.
They
One,
were
two.
equal.
So why are you worried? You did it again, Judah.
I'm saying it's not. Perhaps I should
I'll
set
have
the
Marcus
default.
take a crack at it too.
I fixed it.
Nope.
Oof.
You've heard of blink dogs before. You've read them in stories and where they might appear in areas influenced by the Feywild. Basically, in their name, teleporting dogs.
You know what? That does sound like a bell. Say, Candy, do you know what a blink dog is?
I mean, I'm guessing it's like every dog, since it'd be kind of bad if all dogs couldn't blink.
You're right about that. But, rather, a blink dog, or in this case, I suppose a blink puppy, it's they are a sort of dog breed, or wolf? Not exactly sure, to be completely honest. I hear that they actually originate from the Feywild. They are mostly like other dogs, except of course with Feywild properties and also the capacity to teleport or blink.
Huh.
Oh.
hmm
Huh. Well,
Must
someone's
take-
actually
must-
say. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, getting them for walks must be a pain.
I don't know. It sounds like a lot of fun.
If I read correctly, although admittedly this was from one of my childhood fairy tales, I hear that they sort of behave somewhat like outside cats. They kind of take themselves out. Not that you could keep them anywhere, that is.
Whoa. So we absolutely have to catch it then. Because, I mean, Seth told me that he was getting, that sort of energy off in the woods. So if it's from the dog, then that makes sense.
Well, think of it this way. You can't really catch a blink dog, as of what I said. Rather, it's... You have to bond with one. That's the
In
only
other
way
words, you
can
gotta
really
be
keep them
friends
around
with
you.
it.
Which
I'm
I'm
a
sure
kitty.
you wouldn't have any problem with that.
Ooh.
I wonder if it's like a blink sausage.
I don't...
Oh.
She, rubs her chin, thinking about all the things that she's learned about the Feywild.
See, I'm just glad that it wasn't turning out that I was going crazy and seeing things that aren't there. Right, Sil? He says, yeah.
Oh my god.
And then he smiles at you.
She grins ear to ear.
I know
That'd
you
be a shame.
eventually find the group kind of standing close by to the entrance of the inn.
Is it safe to say Aurelia, who was with us, just kind of stealthed off after seeing Candy?
Yeah, she slinked into a room.
Understood. She's hiding.
Can't hide forever.
Einar would walk up to them.
Oh, hey, Anar!
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Did you find someone to beat your metal with you?
He just
Again with
narrows
the-
his eyes at him.
Again with the curious phrasing.
What? That's what you do, blacksmithing, ain't it? Am I wrong, Candy?
Sounds about right. Sounds like something Einar would do.
It's a very
I don't-
uncivilized way of putting it, but yes, I suppose.
Kind of like comparing that to what a butcher tenderizing meat would be considered beating it. I don't think that's right.
I mean, back when I was training, my master used to have me punch meat, so to tenderize it.
I'm not gonna let you win this. I'm not.
Well-
Every 70% of me wanted to laugh, but the other 30% threw itself on top of the 70. Absolutely not. But I suppose that's odd methods. Oh, though I suppose he did more or less try to stone you, so that's not exactly unexpected.
Oh yeah, we got stoned a lot.
How many of these? How many? I'm gonna get overwhelmed eventually. I can already feel it.
That took me.
Took you a minute.
Oh, it's like medieval stoning?
Names, man.
Wrong stoning.
To be completely honest, Marcus, I sometimes am finding it very hard to believe that you're not just confusing colloquialisms on purpose.
At this point, I'm not even sure if he is.
Oh no.
He's taking over.
What's
Marcus
a
is kind of
colloquialism?
Him with your memes.
Marcus kind of.
You know those situations where you know the definition of a word, but at the same time you don't know exactly how to define it? I would ask Damien about that, perhaps, if we come across him again.
Oh, was that kind of like the situation we had with the Risky House?
What do you mean? Oh, wait. It's coming back to me. I suppose. Yeah. No, you're right.
I'm still very lost, but if I come across Davian, I will ask him. Where is he? Is he at the castle?
Yeah, we left him back at the castle. Yeah.
Got it.
Well, in any case, yes, I spoke with the smith here. He's a Kinku man.
A what?
Oh, one of them crow people.
Yeah, I had to ask somebody what he was. It was a very odd conversation.
Yeah, seeing a kinku is definitely a rare occasion.
Yeah, I've seen a couple around with my travels. They're definitely rare.
Mm.
Wait, is there actually a bird person?
Oh yeah, they're really nice. Though they can't actually talk, they just mimic.
Mm.
They sound like so much fun. Do they mimic everything you say, like that one colorful bird?
The parrot.
Technically, they mimic everything that they've really ever heard, or at least things that they're paying attention. I believe it's a common misconception that they just kind of have an internal library of sounds, rather, but I think it very much operates similarly to how we communicate.
Oh.
I was
That's
waiting for
actually
that pick.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Anyway. God, you guys just keep hitting me with right and left hooks.
Don't mind me.
It'd be cool. So wait, this Kenku person, is this who you're working with right now, Einar?
Well, we're going to have a competition.
What kind of competition?
Smithing, of course.
What kind of smithing?
We're creating a unique weapon each.
What kind of unique weapon?
Well, I'm not sure what he's going to build, but I was thinking of not quite sure what I'm going to call it yet. I had a couple of ideas floating around in this noggin of mine.
I really want to see it. Oh, it sounds like so much fun.
I was thinking about a shield that you could punch people with.
I mean,
Isn't that just a regular shield?
yeah, could you do with any shield?
Yes, but this one has spikes on the end of it.
Ooh.
Oh, so you could cut like a spiky shield.
Yes, or perhaps a hat with a razor brim, and you
Oh.
throw the hat like a frisbee.
Well, that'd be kind of dangerous if you ever had to tip your hat to a lady, though.
That close?
You never do that, Marcus. Never tip your hat at a lady.
What about glasses, but like on the inside there's like a spike, so when you're like, oh, here, you can borrow my glasses, they just gouge their eyes out.
That's...
Interesting idea.
Why would you do that?
I mean, is that what weapons are for?
That's not a weapon.
It's more of a trap.
Yeah, I guess that is. Huh.
And honestly, Candid, and not that I'm against the idea, it sounds neat, but if you're giving it to an enemy, you probably wouldn't ask you politely to wear your glasses. So you'd be gouging the eyes out of your friends?
Purses lips for a moment. It's a work in progress. I'll workshop the idea.
No, for what it's worth, I do find it to be rather interesting.
You're always so
becoming the new
supportive.
Q. Oh God. Should be interesting. They're an idea, that is for certain.
Or what if you make razor wings? How you can fly with and also slice with.
I have a feeling like that might entail magic.
Yes, unfortunately, I don't quite know how to enchant things yet.
Okay, and it's a future project then.
Though that does bring up a good point. What if the wings have feathers in it, and the feathers are like throwing knives? You just flick the wing at the person, and a throwing knife comes flinging out at them.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah. How about a knife that kind of springs out of the handle so you can kind of keep it in your pocket?
Like a yo-yo knife?
Yeah!
Oh, that'd be painful if you missed.
Probably a little, yeah. I'd say, how about we continue talking about this stuff when we are, inside?
No, good idea.
They're just talking weapons in public.
What about a crossbow
was,
that
yeah.
doesn't need to be loaded? It loads itself automatically.
Hmm.
I think you'd enjoy something like that, wouldn't you, Evelyn?
Oh, you wouldn't be wrong about that. Though, if I'm not mistaken, don't we...
We'll call
Oh,
it a
no, I
Tommy
suppose-
bow.
That's fucking great.
Who's Tommy?
Actually, I mean, it's never been particularly difficult to pull it back, but even then, though, I would suppose it would be rather handy. If you do end up making it, please let me know.
Yeah, well, how would you get the thing to go back every time you shot it? That's a lot of tension release.
Springs, Marcus, springs.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Don't worry. To be honest, neither am I.
Well, I mean, as far as the means of blacksmithing and engineering and that sorts, it's definitely a newer world to me, but not exactly an unwelcome one.
Einar incidentally makes the freaking automatic rifle on accident.
To this point, while you guys are talking, you start to see a crowd kind of start to gather and form much more densely in the center square. You can hear some kind of like more raised voices and someone kind of shouting at someone else.
Yeah, wonder what's going on. Marcus will walk on over.
Candy will follow.
Yeah.
Is it like a large crowd?
It's starting to be a large crowd.
So
It's
Marcus will
currently
come.
forming.
This forming. Okay, well, Marcus looks over and goes, "Huh? Can we see what's happening, or is it too big a crowd?" Is kind of what I was getting at.
You can see what's happening.
Can I see what's happening with my height?
You can roll me your perception check.
Marcus will look at it. Candy, you want a leg up?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, and Marcus will will lift up Candy onto his shoulders.
There we go.
Connor will pick up Marcus and put him on his shoulders.
Evelyn will stay on the ground.
Okay. As you kind of watch, you see this seemingly elven or half elven man. He seems to be wearing this guard apparel. It's very, very royalty looking. It's got these nice light blue cloak. A lot of red straps, and just looks very well crafted and very sleek in design. He's currently being apprehended by someone. And you see that these guards are currently holding his hands behind his back, as another guard walks up to him. And you hear him kind of speak. Lufia Vesas, you are under arrest for the following suspected crimes. First-degree felonies of treason, conspiracy, and corruption. Second-degree felonies of fraud, bribery, and slavery. And third-degree felonies of forgery and blackmail. You will be detained while we perform an ongoing investigation. Anything you say can be used against you in the court of law. And you kind of hear him just look towards the guard. This is a mistake. You have the wrong person. I'm going through my own investigation at this current moment. Someone is trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Can't you see? To which, Evelyn, you notice standing along the sidelines, kind of stepping forward, a face you recognize.
Good, I'm out of here. Rather, as long as she's not on the focus, she's just gonna go ahead and thinking about whether or not I should put on that shadow shawl. Yeah.
Wait. Have we all seen that face before?
I'd say
Thinking simulator.
roll me intelligence check at advantage.
Everyone or Marcus?
Everyone can.
Okay.
I want to. I'll just roll an Arcana because it won't let me roll straight in for some reason.
It won't let me do it either.
If you right click.
Well,
No,
no,
wait,
it's just it's not. Okay.
You roll.
Oh, there, I got it. Yeah.
If you click on int, it should come up. Ability or saving throw.
It doesn't let me do it.
If you click not on the number,
Just
on the actual word.
Yeah, I'm clicking on the word. It says there's no active combat encounter.
No. I figured out. You got to go underneath it. Yeah. You're going under initiative, Nikki. You gotta go. You did the same thing I did. I looked at it. I saw initiative, and I got screwed up. You did the same thing I did.
Okay. You vaguely remember You guys regularly remember recognizing this face from in the asylum. It was kind of hard to properly kind of make details because of just the surroundings and the miasma and everything. But this was who was facing off against Evelyn.
That's what I thought.
Yep. Well, here, let me do a little self roll because this is.
Do self rolls to private GM unless they're like things that don't really matter, like you're
Okay.
testing things.
Got you. That's actually pretty accurate, yeah. Huh. Okay, I was just making sure I changed the right thing. But yeah, if anything, we are kind of on the outsides of this crowd, no?
Yeah.
All right, then if that is the case, then Evelyn's going to more or less stay there in that regard. And if I'm not mistaken, when it came to the two individuals that were talking, this particular man, was he the accuser or the accused?
Which
Um,
William currently is accusing.
okay, understood.
So the half-elven man is currently being detained.
Okay. Wow. Okay, this is one of those moments where it's just like not much to do. If anything, Evelyn would just kind of stay generally quiet, out of sight, out of mind. In the event that William does happen to look over towards her, though, she is going to reactively stealth inside of the crowd.
Okay. He seems to be very focused on what's in front of him at the moment, and as he kind of looks on over towards him, this is just an investigation, but we have found fair amount of evidence so far for, well, lower degree crimes. In any case, if other evidence should turn up that is more beneficial towards us, but for the meantime, you are being detained. See to it that he is escorted to the jails. And everyone, sorry to cause a ruckus, can move on out. He kind of gives a nod of his head as he turns around, and other guards kind of follow him towards the west, while the guards currently apprehending the half-elven man start taking him towards the east, down this ruler this way.
Southeast, okay.
And you can just hear him as he's kind of walking by. Unhand me. You have the wrong person. He's manipulating you.
Can I insight him?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same, so I'll take a crack if that's okay.
I'm just gonna
you'd have to move
automatically
closer.
see.
You'd have to move closer.
Oh, to incite the guy that was talking?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming we were with Einar, considering we had totem pole, but
Yeah. I'd say Einar had to move closer as well.
That's fair.
fine.
I mean, I would have moved close.
Marcus probably not, because he's got higher passive perception and can,
Yeah, my 22 passive.
Yeah.
Woo!
but
Candy's
it's harder.
just gonna assume he's good.
Yeah.
Nat 20, 27.
Luthier seems to very much believe that he is being detained for the wrong reasons, and everything that's shown in his face seems to be his pure emotion.
Yeah, there's not a
How
lie
is it?
in there.
No.
Oh, this
Is
is gonna
it-
go bad.
Could I potentially use detect thoughts on who was it again?
Lufia Vesas.
Yeah, Lufier.
Just so you remember those, Judah, you gotta be within 30 feet of him.
Ooh, yeah, I would have to follow him, wouldn't I?
Yeah, you'd have to be right behind him and very close.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Nah, I wouldn't be able to then. Not quite, anyway.
As you kind of see him, the other guards kind of look over towards him, and you see a few kind of have this kind of hurt look on their face. Others seem to be kind of like angry. Others are kind of like more concerned. The one of them that's holding him, and he kind of has this very like sorrowful kind of "I'm sorry" look on his face. So he kind of speaks over towards Lufia. I'm sorry, sir, but this is orders. I can't disobey them, and there's been evidence. I'm sorry. You just kind of hear him look over and give him like a very volatile, very angered glare. It's a mistake.
Storm,
Shakes his
can
Mhm.
I insight William, actually?
William has walked off in the other direction.
Like, before all this has happened? I'm sorry, it's... I asked one time,
They've
but I
split
was
up.
muted, so...
Okay. Yeah, you could make the insight check while you're observing.
Okay, let's see.
You would have disadvantage because he would be quite far away,
This is
and
true.
you don't want to get close.
That's okay.
No.
Also, I fucked it up again. Ah!
Oof.
You know, he's hard to read.
That's fair.
Marcus will get off of Einar's shoulders, just walk down his back.
I'll get off your shoulders.
And up when
You see a few people totem poling.
yeah. Imagine that's not uncommon, like especially
No.
with like halflings and goblins and everything running around, right? Like the shorter race is probably totem
Yeah.
pole.
That's what you meant by totem pole.
Wait, I don't get it. Why did they arrest him if he said he didn't do it?
Who knows? Those types of investigations always have more to it. But I don't know about that one.
Honestly, 100% that man thinks he's innocent. I got like a sixth sense for these sort of things.
Oh.
While I would normally be willing to doubt you, I don't doubt you on this one. There does seem to be something wrong. But, I mean, I don't believe we should get involved.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this
How
seems like
come?
something. Like a guy needs an innocent man needs help.
Yes, and there's also an innocent maiden who also needs help that we are planning on as well. We have to be
Wait.
very careful where we spend all of our resources, you guys.
Are we sure the two aren't tied together?
Good point.
Actually, Marcus
They
will
did
walk.
mention slavery.
Yeah, is there still a group around?
In terms of what?
Like the people
What,
that
the
were
crowd?
watching, like,
Oh, yeah.
Marcus will approach one of the people that were nearest and go, "Excuse me, did you catch the beginning of that? What was that half-elf gentleman arrested for?"
You see a Genasi man kind of look over towards you, seemingly fire Genasi. And he's got this kind of short, fiery hair, kind of like kind of hardened skin with like small cracks of fire in it. Looks over towards you. What do you mean? What the beginning of that?
Yeah, I mean they arrested him for something, right? They had to I'm assuming they had to give him his arrestus amendments, right? Like where they had to accuse him of something.
Right. So I think Lufier was his name. He was currently, talking to some of the guards in the center square for some time. Just I think standard guard duty. He was one of the captain of the guards, I think. I've only been here for about a week or something, so I don't know quite too much. But seemingly captain of the guard, and the other fellow, I'm not quite sure what his name is, but he came up with another bunch of guards and arrested him. For
Wait, the half elf's the captain of the guards?
one of the captains of the guards.
Well, that seems. Did they mention what he was apparently accused of? Like, was he like, I don't know, taking bribes or something?
If my memory serves me correct, treason, conspiracy, corruption, slavery, bribery, forgery, blackmail, things like that.
A slew of crimes.
Apparently, yeah.
Well, this city's got interesting things happening in it, don't it?
Yeah, it's pretty strange here. But I've been told not to stay out too much after dark.
Yeah, I heard it's kind of dangerous after dark, is it?
Possibly. Depends.
Fair enough. Is it like a city-wide curfew for sort of thing for this, or is it just kind of like a general advisement?
General advisement.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah. Anything else?
Well, no, I think that was. Thank you. I was just curious what that hubbub was about. That was like a huge thing, and I was just, getting few in the city, wondering what was happening. And big event, right? But thank you very much, sir. By the way, name's Marcus.
Name's Parhad.
Nice to meet you, Proudheart. And just shakes his hand.
It's a little bit shakes your hand, a little bit warmer than usual.
His hand or mine?
I guess it doesn't really matter to you.
Good question.
Like, how'd I notice?
Probably
He like
not.
Loki thinks that you're a fire genasi too.
Yeah, it kind of looks. Are they gloved?
Yeah, my hands are always gloved when I'm not
Okay, your hands
out
are
in the
always
city.
gloved.
Yeah,
Okay.
Marcus
Yeah.
knows not to advertise. His master told him
okay.
better.
Not regular shake, just kind of give you a nod of his head. Turn
Well-
away.
Marcus walks back to the group. Well, apparently, yeah, you're right. It was one of the things that poor man was accused of was slavery. I mean, this might be connected in some way. And Marcus looks around, and all the guards have vanished. Right? There's nothing lurking about.
There's some guards that are still standing by, trying
I'll tell you what,
to break away the crowd.
Let's head to the inn and get something. Get a nice sit down. My dogs are killing me.
Marcus, are you alright?
Oh, I'm fine. It just looks around again. I think we should just head back to the inn because my feet are hurting. I've been walking up and down lampposts all night.
Your feet never hurt.
Oh, no, Evelyn, this is one of those, like, wink moments.
Evelyn just kind of, it takes her a moment, but she just kind of crosses her arms and just looks at Marcus with this, like, half accusatory glare. Last time things like this happened, you disappeared despite me highly recommending that you stay at the inn. And
I mean,
ended up
we should
following a lot of
all
us
go
anyway.
to the inn where we can all sit down and have a rest together. He says, head motioning to guards.
She doesn't talk that loud.
I know.
But, like, at the same time, him and his fucking bit, Jesus Lord. Evelyn just like, the most invisible sigh leaves her lips as she's just like, fine, let's go.
So
Candy reaches out and pats Evelyn's arm. She's just like,
Don't worry, I'm sure you'll get it next time.
How loud does Marcus say that?
not to a shouting point, just so Evelyn would definitely hear him. He wasn't shouting it.
Okay.
SM fucking H.
So
Alright.
once we're in the inn and more or less alone, Marcus will go back to Miss Evelyn. Sorry, Miss Evelyn, for the subterfuge. Uh,
If you could call it that, sure.
but I was just wanted to talk to you about, like, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but that man looked kind of familiar.
Right.
Like, sort of from, like, your horrific, nightmarish demon of inner self.
I will say that. Even though, like, very much, you've got the evidence right there. It's kind of inexcusable. Her composure doesn't waver, like, even the slightest. But she does kind of frown just the tiniest little bit. Yeah, so I'm aware.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to pry into your history or anything, but is there anything we need to know about to be safe around here?
Well, other than not being out at night. She thinks for a moment.
Are you from here?
I think at this point it's kind of a given.
You know what, you're right. Let's talk when we get back to the inn.
I thought that's what we're. We're right back at the inn. That's what he was
We
waiting
already
for
are?
before.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
making sure, because, like,
That's why he wanted to bring up this conversation in the inn. That's the whole purpose of this. Like, he didn't want to say this in the street around guards.
I'm typically not used to time skips of a decent travel taking an instant.
Oh, fair enough.
But, that being said...
Are you guys going to a room, or are you in the like main
I
area?
mean, a place with privacy, so one of our rooms probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I am from here.
One of you would, Marcus, probably would have seen the innkeeper who had been watching kind of have a concerned look on her face as she walks inside back after everything has been done and settled. Kind of take her place back up at the front of the inn. Kind of go
Marcus.
back to her duties.
Literally no way Marcus could ignore that. Excuse me, ma'am. Is there an issue? You look like you had a little concern on your face.
Oh, and for those who don't remember or haven't seen what she looks like, image. You see Flights, the tiefling, winged, woman, and she kind of gives you a very courteous kind of bow of her head. Oh, everything's fine.
She's so cute.
No, right?
That was me out of character.
I know, Nikki.
Just some of the crimes were rather concerning. I've known Lucia for a fair amount of time, or at least known of him. We haven't really spoke, but he's been an upstanding member of the as captain of the guard for as long as I've been here. It's kind of strange to think that he would do such a thing.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I think I don't know the man, but I did get a very strong sense he didn't seem to be. He at least believed he was innocent of these crimes. It seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised too. I'm currently on the fence whether or not to believe what I heard.
Well, we'll just have to see, right? I mean, this hasn't been processed through court, and, well, there have been all sorts of conspiracies. You know how these things go.
That's fair. I think That's after everything is processed through the court of law that hopefully should ease any, well, feelings I have. Hopefully
I
he's clear.
suppose. So it was like, where is like the place they put poor people like that around here? Like, I'm assuming they have a nice area for him. I mean, he is just accused at the moment.
Oh, as in jail?
Hey, I guess.
That would be located in the guards park.
Oh, okay.
Though I suppose I am curious, would treason even result in jailing? Not something more severe?
Depends on the level. It could be an execution.
I mean, I hope they don't execute him without, going through the process. I'm
Oh, no,
assuming
I'm
there's a
sure
process in this world.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it would. It's just with things like this and crimes as severe, I mean, right? This isn't Chimeran land. Slavery here is a bit of a big deal.
I know, but I mean, they have to make sure he did it, right? They don't want to get like a false accusation.
No, you're right. I'm just saying, though, that it very well could be possible depending on what happens.
I see. Huh. That's something to think about.
Inside?
I mean, sure, you can roll.
Ever since, well, hold on. My English is not working. Oh, that's a 9. I'm getting some really great rolls as of late, guys.
I mean, it's Marcus.
Then I didn't have to roll that in the first place?
No, I just meant you a 9, man. It's Marcus. Like,
That's fair.
he seems genuinely like he's always usually worried about people.
Yeah, it's just as far as that's something. Yeah, I was wondering if there was more to that.
Oh, basically with an inside an eye, he's like, yeah, I mean, he just seems generally concerned about a possible innocent man being put to death. It concerns him greatly.
The last thing that concerned him greatly was yet another thing where he was super surprised, where Evelyn was just like, huh? So,
I think one of the crimes listed was one of the ones that spoke out to me all that much more. Stood out the most, I think, to me, at least.
Which crime was that?
Slavery.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. I mean, I again don't know the man. Didn't seem to tap, and I mean, that's like a weird one for him to get into. Honestly, seems suspect to say the least.
You can see there's some sort of mixed emotion on her face as she kind of says the word slavery, and like you see a bit of her wings kind of twitch a little.
Sorry, ma'am. Is this a sensitive subject for you? I mean,
A little, but it's all right. I brought it up.
no, I do apologize. I do not mean to make a man make someone uncomfortable. I just this situation. I mean, it kind of weighs on my mind.
Marcus, roll me a persuasion check.
I'm pretty good at these, unless I roll like garbage, but we'll see. 18. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
You kind of see her give you a small smile, and I guess you all seem like nice folk. I used to be a slave myself.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's alright. It's from a time long past. I was freed by a wandering master. That was his role at the time. He ended up losing an arm for saving me. So, we wandered around for a while before we decided to set up a tavern together here in Alabasta. He recently passed.
Well, again, man, I'm very sorry to hear that. It's a shame when such good people pass on.
And indeed. But he saved me from that life, and I owe a great due of gratitude to him.
I see, ma'am. I do appreciate you sharing that with us.
Of course. I used to hate things because someone saved her. The fellow who set up the inn with her.
He lost an arm in the process.
Yeah. And he's recently passed away.
Do you run this inn all by yourself?
Well, I'm currently the tavern keeper. I have others that help me, a chef and a few others who run the night shift and day shift. But as far as all things concerned about bookkeeping and handling everything else, I handle a lot of organizational things here. It's been a lot to take in and adjust to, but I'm getting used to it. I was taught quite a bit about it. So I do have help, but it's okay. In fact, one of them who's currently on break at the moment should be returned. Thank you for reminding me of my duties. Can I get you anything to eat and drink?
Oh no, thank man. I think it's only like 2:30 p.m. We all just eaten recently, still, eh? If that time's correct.
Yes.
No, we're okay, man. Thank you very much, though. I mean, we don't want to keep you here if you need to get about your business, but
You've been very kind to us.
yes, quite appreciated. Oh shoot! I guess while we're here, though, Candy, did you want a room or did you want to bunk with somebody?
Are we all gonna do the same room again?
Unfortunately, we already split up into different rooms.
Oh darn! All right. I guess I'll just room with Still tonight.
Okay. But Marcus, what was it? 5 silver a night? Or was it a gold? I can't remember.
I think it was like 2 gold.
2 gold. Marcus will just hand her 2 gold. This is for her.
Candy.
Hmm?
Would you mind perhaps staying with Aurelia and I?
A 3-person sleep? Absolutely. 4-person sleepover? Yes.
Yeah, and it would likely end
Still
up with you
gives
meeting
you
our...
glare.
She has her hands up about her mouth like, oh, I slipped up a moment. She gives him a sheepish look.
Let's be honest. Candy has yet to really meet Aurelia. They don't exist. It is just a fig. She's the figment.
You're right.
But
Yeah, I don't mind.
In fact, we do have somebody that we would like for you to meet. You haven't met Aurelia yet.
I love meeting new people.
Well, technically, I think she would have met her in the
Yeah.
keep. Like they just
technically.
the
Implying
players
Aurelia
haven't
wouldn't
met.
have avoided her the entire time.
Well, no, because we did have Candy NPC meet her. Remember, because you spoke as Candy.
Yeah.
Yes, that was fun.
So they have
Don't worry.
officially met through you.
Don't worry, I have done well upon Candy.
Bless you.
Aurelia is rightfully so terrified.
Yeah, I mean, to me, admit, Amelia has probably avoided Candy ever since. But
Yeah.
they
How
met.
did she beat her?
I don't remember the specifics. It was pretty soon upon pretty soon upon her arriving. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and you basically went,
You
"Oh, hey,
sure?
you want to be best
Yeah.
friends and everything," and just.
Yeah, just the standard. Be my best friend.
By the way, is Lucia in there? We would have probably have grabbed Lucia with us if she was at the end. So you're there.
She's not at the end. She's currently at
Oh
the.
shit!
You haven't seen her the entire time.
If I wonder where Lucia is.
Lucia did tell Evelyn, and I don't know if anyone else was there. I don't think Marcus was there.
Would
I
you
don't
have
remember.
got? You would have seen some of the priests walk out and see what the commotion was going on. Would you have followed, or you would concern more with tending to?
Probably would have followed. But even seeing the party, like, I feel like she would have just been focused on the situation, where I don't know if she would have even seen the party.
She probably wouldn't have seen the party, but yeah.
And then she just would have went back in and kept doing what she was doing, so...
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, even then, Evelyn would send a message to her 30 minutes before nightfall. But yeah.
Well, in any case,
But we're not at that point yet, so...
No. I mean, we're still here for the night, so what do we want to do in the morning, I guess?
Well, I still think we should try to find a way to maybe help the person if we can.
I agree with you, can at least gather some info, maybe. I mean, this seems connected, honestly.
And even if it's not, we get to help another person.
I wouldn't doubt your suspicion, Marcus.
By the way, has the innkeeper left yet?
No, I think she's still standing there. She's like by the counter.
Okay,
She's behind the cameras where you guys were talking to her.
Okay, yeah, Milos. In any case, I suppose we should head back into our rooms and we can discuss this more privately. Thank you again, Miss, for chatting with us, and I hope to subside your worries in the future for this. I mean, this does seem very most upsetting. Glad you were able to share with us.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you. If you need anything, just let me know.
Oh, of course.
She gives you a polite smile and see another customer kind of make their way over. Starts tending towards them.
So we'll all head up into one of our rooms. Probably Evelyn's room and Candy's room, since it's with the three of them, it's probably the largest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, when we're in the room, Marcus will turn to Miss Evelyn and go, Miss Evelyn?
Yes?
Again with that man that we saw on the streets, I mean, judging by how we all viewed him, would it be too forward of me to assume he is not a nice man?
No, he is indeed not. And to answer Einar's question, I am indeed from here. Well, not originally, but I did live here for a decent sum of my life. He is not a good man. Not a good man at all. In fact, if I were to theorize, I would say that he is likely making this Lufia person take the fall for him, rather.
Honestly, that was what I was thinking, given the situation that was occurring there.
You see, in Orobani and neutral territory, it's not often talked about that slavery does indeed go on behind the scenes. But it indeed does. And Mr. Beck just so happens to be one of those people.
See. Just like a little twitch to Marcus's finger.
If I might ask, this might be sort of a silly question, but, you guys keep sort of tossing this word around. What exactly even is it?
You
Is
mean
what?
slavery, Candy?
Yeah.
You-
I mean, based off the way you talk about it, seems like it's a bad thing, but what is it?
To put it lightly, slavery is essentially withholding someone's own will to freedom. This can take many forms, frankly, but in particular, contemporary, if I were to call it that, slavery oftentimes is mandatory work. The people who effectively own you also are allowed to pretty much do whatever they want to you. Your rights to being a very living, breathing person is taken away.
Wait, can't you
Ba-
defend yourself?
No.
I mean,
Why?
You get
basically,
punished.
Candy, you become somebody's property.
Wait, punished how?
Whippings, beatings, extra work. Occasionally, if it's bad enough, you might even get injured or killed. Injured badly or killed.
A complicated look comes to her face at that, but she kind of slowly nods her head.
Wait, so that's just a thing that's just allowed out here?
It's not. Wherever there is greed, there is likely to be those who take the fall because of that greed. It is not necessarily something I would say people allow, but especially for some people in power, it benefits them more to turn a blind eye to such things than to do anything about it.
Is that why people don't just gather together and stop it?
And change what order has been brought to civilization? It can happen, but even then there are always going to be, say, water that seeps through the cracks.
Kind of
I mean,
presses lips together tightly for a moment.
I'm not much happier about this either, Candy.
it's supposed to be illegal in cities like this, at least, but unfortunately, sorry.
It's supposed to, yes.
But unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, what happens is a lot of the time they gather people from cities and take them to the other places where that kind of thing is allowed.
Think of it this way, right? We only ever hear, if you are within Orobani territory, about how great it is, about how free it is, how accepting of magic it is, and all races that include magic. But we also know that there is no such thing quite as something that is undoubtedly good, other than God, but even then, the gods are known to be fallible as well, right?
Well,
Why
they're
is it that
straight.
we only ever hear good things about the Orobani Empire? And they spend so much time defacing the Chimeran. Rightfully so, in my personal opinion, but think.
That's what they call propaganda, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Not only does it bolster the appearance of the Orobani Empire, but for those who exploit the system, it benefits them greatly by, say, darkening the shadows in which they work.
Both of you roll me a history check.
But when you mean both of us, you gotta
Marcus and Evelyn.
Yee. Our luck has swapped places.
Evelyn,
to be fair, anytime I roll intelligence-based stuff, my luck's terrible.
funnily enough, this fits perfectly.
Yeah.
Evelyn, you would know that Orobani tend to hide a lot of their misdeeds from things.
Yeah.
But they are well within their rights of believing that the freedom of magic means the freedom of destruction, and that they will openly use magic as just, like, if need be, against the Chimerans to just blast things to obliteration.
Their
Hence-
freedom. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Hence why a particular place does come up. One of the stronghold options near Terraflame Lodge is specifically like the information you got from there. A mage, an Orobani mage, basically found out it was a Chimeran holding out spot and just obliterated it with a meteor storm.
In other words, they're not afraid of the nuclear option.
Yeah, their freedom is less freedom and more borders on the layers of anarchy.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it is
total
it
freedom is
admitted.
anarchy.
I mean, yeah,
is-
but whenever people use total freedom, they usually don't mean it.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
total freedom is anarchy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
They don't follow total freedom. They follow freedom of to a certain extent.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get it.
there
I
has
was
to
just
be laws. Yeah, okay.
it's the freedom of we got the big gun.
Ah, jeez.
But Orobani are always kind of painted to be the lighter of the two, because Chimerans are so much more we don't care of your perception because fuck you. Whereas Orobani are usually much more inviting to people.
Dare I say disarming. But yeah. This place is. Well, I suppose it's like a lot of other places. It's not always all what it means to be.
See.
Are there places other than just this that does this sort of thing?
Oh, don't be mistaken, Candy. Think of it this way, right? Like I said, water between the cracks, right? For the most part, it's not nearly as prevalent here in comparison to, well, that of actual Chimeran Chimeran territory.
Yeah, there it's legal. Like here it's illegal. Think of it kind of like, you know how like stealing's illegal, right, Candy?
Yeah.
So imagine like in the other cities, like stealing wasn't illegal and people could just rob you on the street and nobody would stop you. It's kind of like what slavery's like over there. Like you could just buy people on the street, broad daylight, like you would like a loaf of bread.
Again, very complicated look on her face at that.
I guess I just thought that, things around the world were like really super duper nice and everything. So this is a little
Yeah,
weird to
unfortunately.
hear about, I guess.
Unfortunately, I believe, Candy, the majority of people are good and the majority of people are nice, but as Miss Evelyn said, dark shadows and such.
The brighter the
There's
light,
always a
the darker
bastard
the
out
shadow.
there. Yeah, there's
Mhm.
always a bastard out there.
Right.
Hmm.
I'm sorry if you had a different conception. You seem to be rather troubled about this.
Oh, no, it's all right. It kind of gives a little shake of her head and puts a smile back on her face. Well, I mean, it's better to know about it so that we know how to, I guess, take care of this. So I guess what are we thinking we want to do?
I mean, at the moment, I don't know what. I mean, Miss Evelyn, I mean, you know the most about the situation here. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, I think, to spend a couple of days to figure this out. I mean, we do have months to get the other parts sorted out as well, and if they're connected, that might help us solve the problem.
A month.
A month, sorry. Yeah, month. Yeah.
First, I would say Evelyn would kind of place a consoling hand on Candy's shoulder. With Candy's own, frankly, plastered smile, Evelyn puts on a genuine one, and kind of with her eyebrows sagging, very clearly understanding at least a decent bit of what may be going on through her head. It's not really fine, you know that. I mean, you only ever heard of slavery now, or at least a term for slavery. No one is going to blame you for being a bit shaken about it.
Well, I mean, it's not really the concept itself that's shaking.
And again, there's that complicated look on her face before shaking it off.
It's more, I guess, just that it's so widely done, apparently, that so many people either forgive it, or if it's completely legal in other places, I guess, that's a little
Disturbing?
odd. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Candy.
May I ask what comes to mind when you hear about that?
Has Aina been quiet the entire time? ACB's at the conversation. Fair.
Sorry, me thinking how she's gonna answer that.
I mean, she can incite me. Who knows? Maybe I'm trying to get her caught.
Sorry, repeat what the question was again.
She basically kind of asked, like, a penny for your thoughts. Like, what exactly what exactly are you thinking about? Like, some of the things that she said.
Okay. A long beat of time where clearly she's trying to look for the right thing to say, kind of, if that makes sense. Before kind of just going like,
well, I guess it's sort of like, when, a person tells you that, hey, this best friend of theirs is like super duper nice and kind and sweet and awesome and stuff, and then you go and meet them and then apparently they kick puppies, and they're not actually that nice and sweet and stuff. It's sort of, I guess it's kind of like one of those moments, I guess.
Kind of like one of the never meet your hero sort of thing.
Yeah. I guess.
Well, I'm not going to squander that because, frankly, your optimism is one of the nicest things about you, frankly. But when it comes to just about a lot of things, it's very imperative to never assume that everything can be good. Especially with places or civilizations. There are nicer civilizations than these ones that likely were even squandered, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's not going to be complete good and everything, but I guess it's just... This is like a big... bad...
I mean, Candy, kind of the way I tend to deal with these sort of things is, do your best to try to make it better, right?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we were given these... Oh, sorry.
kind of shoots a glance over at Evelyn, kind of a more... kind of... There's a mixture of things in there, but definitely the more prominent emotion there is kind of like hopeful, I guess, as she just says like,
You mean it though? The optimism thing?
Of course. I definitely don't come from the most bright of backgrounds, but neither the most bleak. I kind of adapt to each given situation and how it presents itself, but I find that you always kind of look for a more bright outcome for things. I think that's admirable.
Looks down at feet for a second at that. Then kind of gives like this affirmative little nod. And then kind of straightens up a bit again, giving putting a grin on her face as she's just like,
Alright, yeah, I can do that. Alright then, I guess we just have to tackle this the best that we can, despite the unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, I think that's best. I mean, we're given these powers for a reason, right, Candy?
Mm-hmm.
There's like kind of a beat of a moment where she kind of seems like she wants to bring something up.
Yeah, no, never mind.
Something bothering you, Miss Evelyn?
Let's just say that I understand why a lot of you would like to catch Beck in one of his lies. But I admit that I am not quite keen on pursuing him.
I mean, I'm less concerned about catching him in a lie and more concerned about making sure that innocent man doesn't suffer.
Right. If that's all we're going to do, then I have no problem with it.
Miss Evelyn, what did that man... I mean, you don't want to pry. Feel free to tell me to, piss off, but what did that man
Because
do
I
to
don't
you?
particularly enjoy cursing, I'm going to ask if you stop the question there.
Fair enough.
But anyway, and she kind of claps her hands together, and that familiar smile of hers kind of slowly creeps back on slowly creeps back onto her face. I think that it is getting rather late. Have any of you seen or heard from Lucia?
No, I think the temple or something that Lucy was planning to go to, right?
Yes, but it is getting. Well, actually, what time is it? Quite
3 p.m.
Okay.
She told Evelyn where she was
All
going.
right. Yeah, no, I remember that she had. I believe she had said that she was definitely going to be back by then. So, rather, it's just. Well, the day is still rather young. Is there any sort of planning that the lot of you wanted to do, or so? And if so, then we likely would need to retrieve Lucia.
I don't know if we got any planning we need. I mean, again, you know the city best, but I don't know. I'm not sure what to do next. I'm a little out of my element here.
Well,
Go ahead.
well, I guess this sort of depends on which we're going to tackle first between the two.
So to kind of catch me up, so this other person we're here for, what's up with all that?
They were kidnapped by slaves, and we got to go rescue them.
Do we know where?
Northwest of Elbaster.
Yeah, it's like a day or two out, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they are the lost sin of something that I don't remember.
They're a lost sin of a sin we don't know. It's like it's like the.
It's not one of the 7 sins. It's a different.
It's an
outside
sin.
thing.
Okay. All right. In that case, Candy will say, well,
since our main target's gonna be a bit of a journey and we're sort of just spending our time here, I mean, are people allowed to talk to people in jail? How does jail work?
Kind of depends on the jail, actually.
Yep.
Well, I guess
I'm
do we want to say we
assuming-
can talk to him?
I would assume there probably isn't a legal recourse for us to go talk to a suspected person of treasonous attempts, or at least not without like valid cause. I mean, I don't think any of us are lawyers, are we? He looks over at Einar. You're not a lawyer, are you?
I don't even know what that is.
Fair enough.
We could say we're good friends of his.
Evelyn kind of places a hand on her chest and looks offended.
But you're a lawyer, Miss Evelyn?
No, I'm just offended that you didn't think I looked like one.
Well, to be honest, to be fair, Marcus kind of blushes a bit.
She cocks an eyebrow.
The few lawyers I met weren't so pretty. That's all.
That eyebrow lowers.
You're still not.
Words.
You're still not back on my good side after that previous incident, but you just got a little bit closer. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Which you mean previous incident as in what I just said?
No, she's absolutely holding you for the past, and you snuck out of the fucking inn or the manor.
Oh, you mean when I walked out just to see what was
Absolutely.
happening? Yeah.
Absolutely. She's been like the one person consistently at your bedside, and the fact that you fucking stuck out, she was just like, why do I even watch you? Why?
Fair enough. But in any case, though, I mean, and plus, the other thing, Miss Evelyn, with that man around, he knows who you are, I'm assuming.
Yes, but luckily sorry, do you mean Mr. Beck?
Yeah, the bastard. the one who's doing the accusing.
Right, yes, he does know who I am.
And, I mean, gathering from the situation, he probably is around that watch house. We gotta be careful with you out here, I'm assuming.
Well...
Ooh,
This is a
Candy,
bit
maybe
on
we
the
gotta put her in a
nose.
disguise.
This is a bit on the nose, Storm, but would I know much about his general whereabouts? Because I know in particular, Mr. Beck is a little sadistic.
Know where he is?
Yeah. Or where he typically is, rather.
Well, he stays within the city.
As
Supposedly.
in, what I meant by particularly is like,
Do we know
if
his home
the-
location?
yeah, basically. Like, would there be a high likelihood of Evelyn potentially running into him if they were to go ahead and visit nearby the,
The prison.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's a watchman or something, I was gathering.
Right. But in response to the whole put her in a disguise thing, it's just, no. I have my own means of making sure that I am undetected.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm sure Candy could have came up with a great disguise.
Yeah, I'm
Huh?
absolutely sure.
Yeah, totally. I let you borrow my sparkling cape. And then we could probably use my unlimited paint to like paint your hair. We could put glitter in it. Oh, that'd be pretty.
For whatever reason, I feel like that might just exchange my person for... I don't think that counts as subterfuge, to be completely honest. Or any form of hiding.
But it's one of those things where it's like it's so obvious that it can't be it.
Yeah, like you're dragging so much attention towards yourself. There's no way someone's looking at you and saying that's a person trying to disguise themselves.
Exactly.
Evelyn can't help but smile at Candy and, by extension, Marcus's enthusiasm. Like it's almost like there's like this sneak of a laugh that kind of comes to her, but she kind of lightly wipes out her lip with her hand. It's just, you two are very creative.
Very smart. I know.
That too.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? Next other thing I suppose would be to ask. As far as it's a prison. Is there a likelihood that there is some form of dispel magic that is for things like illusions and things nearby?
No.
Okay.
Not that you would know of.
Yeah.
Highly unlikely.
It's not standard practice to have like anti-magic circles set up to remove disguises.
Not in Alabasta, of all places.
Okay, that makes sense. If that's the case, then on the off chance that potentially some of my two disguises, actually, one with the shadow shawl and the and she just kind of flicks her wrist in a circular motion and brings her entire hand to kind of sweep across her body, and she will, for lack of a better example, become Marcus.
Huh. That's interesting.
Oh, do me.
I don't think I can apply the illusion to you.
Oh no, I mean look like me.
Say, this particular thing isn't going to be something we're going to be doing today, are we? Because if that's the case, I probably don't want to continue.
Okay, other time then.
I mean, do we want to head down there today immediately, or do we want to give it a day to sit and see if we can gather some info?
I would say info would be best.
Sounds good. We could split up, probably cover more ground if you think, in that case. Kind of like go to the best spots. I mean, it's a big city.
Not to mention, if we wait until tomorrow, we will have until the morning and more to do more things. More daylight, the better.
Okay, so is the plan then we get more information, then Evelyn, you dress up when we go to the jail, and then we tell the jail people that, oh, we're best friends with this guy, and then we go talk with him.
For whatever reason, I believe that there's a hole in that plan.
Is there like a lawyer's house around here?
Is there? I think that's like a perfect plan. I see nothing bad happening with it.
Evelyn, you would know there are like government officials and lawyers areas. The embassy specifically.
Very well should. The embassy in particular.
I wonder if a lawyer might be able to help us with this situation.
Yeah, we say we're best friends with his lawyer.
Or we could employ the lawyer.
Or that.
She just kind of lightly rubs her shoulder and like with a little pat. It's just very fond. That candy optimism.
Ooh, maybe we can make Anar pretend to be like his cousin or something. That'll give us a reason why we're hiring the lawyer.
And even for better subterfuge, we make dress Einar like his female cousin.
Candy, I have a beard.
That's okay, we can shave it.
You will not touch this beard.
Sil says he'd look good as a woman with a beard.
I mean, a lot of dwarven women have beards. Maybe his other half is dwarvish.
Sil says that you'd look like a really good bearded lady. So I mean, you could keep it, and we just put you in a dress or something.
You could grab some mangoes.
Then we dress Marcus as the female cousin. I'm sure that'll work too.
You might have better luck with that one.
I mean, I do got fine features.
Oh, absolutely! I bet you'd be able to hug,
She like holds up her hands, like trying to make like an hourglass shape, like frame to him somehow.
Probably not the easiest considering his build, but
She's still trying.
I don't know. I
You
mean, I'll
just
probably
be a
get some
very
extra
lithe
padding.
woman.
Yeah, I could get some padding.
Oh yeah, that works.
I mean, we could head down to like the fruit stall, see if there's any melons.
Oh yeah. And then me and Evelyn. Oh no, wait, Evelyn will already have something. Then me and Lucia, we could get like a fake mustache and beard, and then be
Ooh,
dapper
yeah.
gentlemen.
I am just a bit curious, Candy. How deep can you actually get your voice to go?
I need to do it pretty low.
She immediately keels over.
I mean,
I give
Well,
you
or-
your effort.
Oh wait, I could just do an old man voice. I can do that instead and just sound really old, so I could just be like, of course, little lipper sapper. Do you want some little licorice? I got liquor. I don't have liquor. We should get licorice. Marcus, let's get licorice.
good idea. We can pick him up with the melons.
I just. Everyone's quietly amused. Me in the distance, I'm dying inside. Oh my god.
I
Well,
miss the chaotic
we
energy of
knew-
Candy and Marcus so much.
If we knew where Aurelia was, she might be perfect for a little mission into the prison.
Oh yeah, we could dress her up too.
I think
2 socks.
that- I think she would not like that very much.
What?
Oh, yeah,
Everyone loves to dress up.
But are you talking about kind of like, yeah, I see what you mean. No, I get you. Everyone likes to dress up, exactly.
Yeah.
I, for whatever reason, feel as though there are two different definitions going on, but I'm not entirely sure. Well, either way, I still do think that it would be best if we were to take the day, and perhaps while we also go ahead and look for information, maybe we could look for that said lawyer, one that might be able to, well...
Get us an in.
Yeah.
Sounds great. I guess we should separate and start looking at the city then?
Yeah.
Great.
And while we're
so-
at it, we could also look for whatever supplies we need too.
Exactly. We want to pair off, or do we want to like individual these?
Well, the way I'm thinking is that as long as it is daytime...
A couple more hours at least. I'm gathering it's probably closer to 4 after all this talking.
I mean, it runs accurate, so the conversation would have taken
Does
the
it?
same amount. Yeah,
Just haven't seen the timer move, so I didn't notice.
it should be moving.
Fair enough.
3:16 is what it says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, Evelyn just kind of thinking.
Oh, there.
I mean, why don't we all just go together? While we likely would be able to cover a lot more ground quicker, I mean, number one, this is the first time for a lot of you inside of the city, and number two,
She just kind of shrugs, and the kind of more neutral look that she has kind of gives way to a more weary one. To be completely honest, it would make me feel a bit better.
Well, if you think so, Miss Evelyn, we can stick together for this and get our stuff. So pick up Lucia, go grab a lawyer, see if we can gather some info.
Yeah, we'll protect you.
Thank you. But as for Lucia, I don't believe...
I don't think she told what church she was essentially going to be going to.
I think.
I think most places have like one, like major one.
I'm back.
There's one major church in this town, right? Not a whole bunch of little ones.
Yeah, there's one cathedral. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what.
Then
It is in
perhaps.
center of town.
Do you think I should send her a message that we will be arriving over there, or do you think we should go there before we send her the message? It would be rather unfortunate if we end up essentially passing one another on our way.
I mean, if we guess you can message her just to be safe. If you don't think you'll need that magic.
It's like a 2-minute walk.
Oh, 2 minute
It's literally
walk?
across
Okay.
the street. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the center. It's right across the street from this place.
Yeah.
I don't look at the map enough.
Yeah, you guys are like, if you have the notes the notes toggled, you should be able to see the Lost Fawn, which is right where it really is.
Notes.
If you go on the left-hand side, there should be a journal notes button,
Oh, I see it.
and then it should toggle these little icons.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah, I got him now. Yep.
And
I
if
see.
you hover over them, you can see what they are.
Got it.
So, you guys are basically
Yeah, we're
all
right.
here.
Yeah. Okay, well let's go pick up Lucy and head off in then.
What's the plan?
So we're gonna go pick up Lucy and then we're gonna go find a lawyer first. See if we can get that plan working.
All together?
Yeah.
Oh,
For some reason, Miss Evelyn doesn't trust us to separate.
I am probably gonna pop off here. But before I do, is there any chance that at any point the party would pass by a costume shop?
Yeah, within the all the markets are in area 12, so
Could Candy buy some stuff from the costume shop?
sure. What are you looking for?
A fake mustache,
Come on.
a top hat, a fancy, like over the top fancy suit to the point that it's just kind of wacky looking, and a cane.
Are you trying to look like the Monopoly man?
And a monocle. Thank you for reminding me of that.
That would come to about 4 gold pieces.
No problem.
It's funny because I actually know what the image Candy's going for because I have that image.
What image? I'm just saying stuff that...
I know, but ironically, I have this image that you've just described. Give me one second. I will post it in general here. Just where did I put it?
How do I...
There we go. There we go.
Fake mustache?
Minus the mustache, but...
Oh, it's kinda... The suit, though, would be a lot more over the top.
Good lord.
More glitter.
Exactly.
The glittery suit.
Like a polka dot tie.
Bordering on Drag King.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, we head to the cathedral. Temple. And, you would find one of the priests, make their way over towards you. Oh, welcome to, the Alabaster Temple. Is there anything I can do to help?
Hi. We're just looking for a friend of ours. Entered in about a few hours ago. It was a few hours ago, no? I could have sworn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Entered about a few hours ago. A little...
Me forgetting again, is she a gnome or a halfling?
No.
I think no.
A gnome.
Gnome. You've been gnome.
You've been gnome.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
See
Thanks
ya
for
next
joining.
Thanks
Sorry I
for
couldn't
playing.
stay the whole time. I'm
It's
very
okay.
tired.
No, don't worry about it.
That's what you get for overworking your body.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
You'll get used to it. I did.
I hope so.
That's a mage. Anyway, yeah, a little gnome girl.
Oh, yes, she arrived here this morning to help with healing and other duties. She should be just. You can see her like kind of crane her neck and we'll look around because she's looking for a gnome and there's like a rows of pews and things and she's trying to spot her. Hold on. She walks down the hallway looking around. Over there. Points over to like the back corner where she's. You wouldn't see her at first. You can just see the little tufts of her her hair kind of peeking over the pew. As you walk a little bit more forward, you can see her head and everything.
Oh, okay. Look, let's not be too loud.
And kind of looks over towards Candy, who is uncharacteristically quiet. And then we'll walk over towards Lucia.
We'll just say Candy's eating toffee and her mouth is too busy chewing.
Mm-hmm. She has muffled callouts to Lucia, but none of them are coming out.
Lucia, hey.
I imagine Lucy will be like, I don't know, brain, please.
As she
Creating like doing something like, rolling bandages, like just simple, like kind of dealing with medical supplies things, because I imagine if it's been several hours, she's already used all of her spot slots.
Sounds like medical grunt work, essentially.
Yeah.
Understood.
Lucia.
Startling her, she like jumps a little bit and she looks, oh, hello Evelyn, what are you doing here? I'm not late, am I? It's not the thing, is it?
Oh, no. It's only about 3 o'clock or so.
Oh, that's good.
We had all came here because we have a bit of an urgent thing that recently came up.
Furrowing her brow. An urgent thing.
Yes, perhaps this isn't the best place to talk about it. Would you be willing to join us back in the inn?
Lucia looks back down at like what she's doing, like, I still have so much work to do. Then,
Everyone just looks over there and there's like a few things out of place. Like it's literally easily able to be like backed up by like somebody else for like a few seconds.
She like holds it for a moment, just like slowly puts it down, takes a step away. Alright, we can go.
It's like she sighed like it was heavy, but instead no, it was just heavy on her heart.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that. Evelyn just
steps down off a footstool, maybe.
Right.
Okay, then let's go.
Evelyn kind of looks around the area. What does the inside of this cathedral look like?
You see it's rather large and grand. Not to perhaps the same level of Justice Landing. It's a little bit more humbled here. But the rows of pews, and you see the same kind of structure of different statues housed within like small sections. See these large kind of golden chandeliers on the roof, kind of hanging down. Interiors of stone stone pillars, kind of holding up the sides. Sections going off from the sides to perhaps other rooms or other areas of the cathedral itself. But yeah.
Overall, it's pretty.
Yeah, as most temples are.
Yeah.
There's
Oh, God.
there's one But basically, the back wall has colored glass panes, and that's about it.
Okay. She would kind of
Or,
look at them.
seems to be depicting
Hmm.
a woman of some kind, perhaps some sort of goddess. You can make a religion check if you'd like.
Why not?
Thinking. There it is. Okay. There it is. Religion.
Okay, that's
Alright.
decent enough. It seems to be a horned woman, with like these two forefront horns that go go from the front of head like to the back, and then two horns to out towards the side, and then these kind of like very white to black to white wings kind of protruding from a side, and she has this very golden image. You would recognize this to be as Tasha.
She kind of gives the the image, or was it a statue you said, or
Glass pane.
okay. She would kind of look at the glass with this sort of a passing glance, but after a few seconds of staring, she goes back to looking onward without much of a second thought.
Before leaving, Lucia would tell the temple leader lady that she was heading out.
Oh, thank you for your help, Lucia. You've worked so hard and amazingly today. Helped so many
Oh.
people. Thank you.
No, it was really nothing. I really wish I could have stayed and do more, but my friends really need me to help them.
No, I don't want to hold you. You've done so much already. Please, feel free to return back if you wish. But if your friends need you or anything, that's much more important. We greatly appreciate the help you did today.
So good. If I ever get a chance to come back and help out again, I will.
Thank you.
I hope you have a
May
lovely
start to
day.
be with you.
How's with you?
Gives a light nod.
Slight, bow.
She bows back. All right. Are you heading back to the inn?
Yeah.
Okay.
So funny. Anytime I think of someone walking with Lucia, it's like walking with a child.
That's how I feel whenever people are around Tech.
Peptech's best friend is Victor, so they're
Exactly.
they're eye to eye.
Truly. Oh man. But yeah, no. Getting back to the inn, and once they are inside a good enough, basically the same room, Evelyn's room, likely. She's going to break it to her the news and the sort of beginnings of a plan that they've got going on.
Can you just give me a rough recap just to make sure I soaked in all of the information?
TLDR, William Beck is a bad man who is putting a potentially perfectly innocent man, that of Lufia, I think is his name, into prison for slavery and things of that nature. And long story short, we are thinking that we are going to spend the rest of the day anyway, sleuthing in order to gain more information, as well as looking if we can find a lawyer inside of the town's embassy. That way, right, we will potentially have free access to the Lufia, him, and potentially set him free. TLDR, we're basically just trying to set this man free and getting legal help to do it.
Okay, so we're not just going to get information. We're going to try and set him free.
We need the information so we
Legally.
can set him free.
Yeah. Well, chances are it likely won't pan out to be legally, but we would like to help. Right. If it can be avoided and turning us into enemies of the entire city, that would be nice.
Cause like while like you were having like the conversation, I was thinking like maybe like I don't know what like all the correct I guess laws and stuff like that are for the world, but if like Lucia could go in as like, you know, a like a religious figure as she is and be like, hey, can I like, you know, go in and like see if this person wants to like redeem themselves to their god or whatever, and like, you know, what stuff like that. But I wasn't sure if that was a thing that would be allowed, like, knowingly by Lucia. Storm.
Possibly, that could be a thing.
I like it.
That also means that it would be only Lucia going in.
Obviously, yeah, but that's more information than any. I mean, hell, even with the lawyer, it would likely still only be the lawyer that could go in, so.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Marcus's original idea was to find a lawyer, get some papers, and with disguised self, you know.
Pretend to be the lawyer.
Exactly.
That's fair. I guess it's to be mentioned too is that if Lucia goes in there and there is no particularly thick obstructions, there is a chance that Evelyn could speak through her if she were to relay the words that she says.
Through what means?
Oh, like message. Again, if there's no thick enough like obstructions. Only if that's the case.
Yeah, but I imagine that would be.
Likely, but you know, it's just another idea.
Yeah, I just imagine because it's a, you know, kind
Dungeon?
of prison, you wouldn't want people just to be able to do that.
Thick prison.
Because what's the message spell? It's like a foot of stone?
Yeah, it's like not too difficult, but it was just one of our options.
Yeah. I'm thinking with that one, that's unlikely.
Yeah. Hence, option.
Yeah.
Alas.
If we need to speak to him directly, the other thing is we can also look for other info and stuff like turfs and try to get try to find leads on the people that have gone missing.
Thinking. Actually, wait. What was that last part that you said, Heath?
If we go find information by going to find leads on the people missing, we can prove his innocence by backtracking, right? I mean, if we find the people missing, we can prove his innocence that way as well.
Okay. Yeah,
So
implying
yeah,
showing that they haven't been like sold or anything of that nature.
Exactly. I mean, there's multiple ways to prove innocence in this case. The problem is we're obviously dealing with a guy who has planted a lot of evidence.
Oh, yeah. There's some definite corruption.
So anything like
Evelyn.
the bribery stuff is probably going to be...
Yes.
Some things I've been wondering about. What exactly is the danger about being in this city alone after 6?
If I'm to be completely honest, part of it is, frankly, just basic city knowledge. It's not always good to be out at such late times, but more than that...
Well, just as landing, I was out late and perfectly fine.
Just as an landing is a fucking anomaly.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, like, just as landing, it's built different, okay? But,
Yeah, keep in mind that's the first big city he's
Yeah,
been.
I'm definitely keeping that in mind. But I would say that Evelyn's response to that would kind of be like, But as for here, I'm not sure if a lot of you heard me, but there's a phrase that I like. The brighter the light, the darker the shadows. That oftentimes goes for when it comes to propaganda or when it comes to people's certain traits. Oftentimes, the more enunciated someone's positives or some place's positives are, oftentimes entails darker negatives. So, for this city being a place that is under. Uh, Earl Baster is.
Neutral.
Or a body territory? Neutral, okay. For a place that has no real reputation for slavery, rather, that's all the more means as to how quickly someone could disappear and slip between the cracks. The reason why I say that it wouldn't be smart to go out by yourself, or go out at all, especially by yourself, is because all it takes is a simple silent spell and a few decently strong people, and even someone like you would be gone in a moment.
Ho ho ho. I do think they would be quite surprised, though, should they try.
I don't believe you want to give them an opportunity to do so.
I mean, honestly, I think the more cases in your case, Einar, I mean, they take a look at you and go, probably not worth the effort.
I wouldn't say so.
No?
Evelyn, you know the city to be a prime spot for this sort of thing because of the variety of different people that are here. If you're looking for a specific thing, if you're into like, oh, I want a tiefling, or I want, this specific race or this specific kind of person, this is the place to look for them. And it's an issue because it is so close to the Chimeran border that there are, yeah.
In other words, this is a
Easy
collector's
picking.
paradise.
Basically. And what Evelyn was going to say is, so in normal situations, I hate to even say normal in the traditional sense, if you were in, say, Chimeran territory, slavery is more of a procedure, and therefore, of course, you would be right with people like him. It would be rather unwise to put someone like him into slavery without there being a legal proceeding, right? Like indentured servitude or something of that nature. But here, I am most certainly grossed out to say this is so much more a hunting ground than a normal proceeding. Someone like
See.
Einar, or by extension anyone who stands out to begin with, has a lot of worth. And frankly, the harder you are to take down, chances are the more you are worth.
See.
Yes.
I will be back. I must consult the elder gods. He, I had to pull the Raiden line.
Yeah.
He's gonna just go somewhere quiet.
You go into your own room.
Hang on a sec. Cat's fucking with cables.
I thought I
Uh-oh.
heard something.
The elder god is displeased.
So it is 11th of 7th grade.
Yes.
The last I used this was on the 4th of 7th grade.
Yes. It's been a while. Definitely been a while.
Been a while.
I'm gonna use my patient fate ability. Hold on a second.
Like puppy is sleeping.
What?
My puppy is sleeping.
Your pupper sleep.
I had to squirt the cat with water to get him away. All right. So
Holy water for the demon.
exactly. I won't chewing my cables, man. I'm gonna cast this to as Tasha because she has a temple here.
Well, she is the main depiction, but you would have seen a lot of different statues to different gods here. A lot of temples are from what you've seen from the 2 temples. They have set gods, sets of gods that are like basically lined up for those who worship different gods to follow.
Yeah, they're like community houses.
Yeah. So it's not just the one. But they just had the glass pane of Astasha, so she seemingly is the main one here. But they had others.
Well, that doesn't change what I'm doing then.
Yeah.
One other second, please. You guys can continue while I get my thoughts in order.
It's very much not a fun conversation, that's for sure. Honestly, Marcus,
Yeah.
I know that I most definitely don't need to tell you this, but this is going to be also one of, if not the main reasons to make sure to keep those gloves on as much as possible.
Yeah, I figured that much. I mean, I tend to keep them on around places anyways, cause.
Right.
But no, I get you. We don't want to like bring attention to ourselves. Unless.
Unless what?
Well, I mean, we could set up a trap, maybe.
For all the slavers that may be interested in extraordinary peoples?
Yeah, possibly. Just a thought.
Maybe in the future when I can dump 20 or so people into a faraway dimension.
Fair enough.
Very much not a bad idea, just maybe not the right time to do so. Even though I wish it were possible. I remember our past conversation about that of chaos versus order. Obviously, not all people in power are always abusing, but when it comes to things like this, it really does turn my stomach.
I mean, that I can agree on fully, Miss Evelyn.
Is this your first experience with things like this?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, as I said, I traveled with my master a lot, so I mean, it's not like it's not like I'm like Candy, who didn't really know about this sort of thing going on, right?
Oh yes.
I mean, I suppose it's a fair
like,
question. Have Marcus ever visited a? I keep forgetting the other Chimeran city with his master.
What was your travel route? Do you have it on in your sheet?
I do. Give me a second here. It is my biography. The towns I know that we said that I was from was Rhinecliff, Gastor, Wild Rose, Moonweaver.
Oh, Gastor? Yes. Gastor is a really bad Chimeran city.
Yeah, I went to Gastor with my master, and that was, I saw the worst of it.
That
Like,
that city is constantly in war. Like there's just it is just constantly under siege, by either or like usually by the Orobani, but it's like sometimes there's like when if you catch it on a bad period of time, there's just street guerrilla warfare going on, and it can be quite intense in Gastio.
What was the dudes that got arrested's name again?
Olufia.
Lufier Vases.
Lufier. Okay. Okay. I'm still gathering my
Also-
thoughts. 1 second.
So wait, Marcus mentions Gastia?
yeah,
Gastior.
that's
You've
the
been
worst
there.
place. Yeah, well, I traveled past there with my master in my youth. It's a pretty fucking awful place, honestly. I mean, fighting, slavery, death there.
Yeah, it
Definitely
really is
something.
a terrible place. That's why my father grew up.
Oh, no kidding, Miss Lucy. I didn't know that.
Okay, I got my thoughts ready. So.
Okay.
I'm actually going to ask his Scaldus instead.
Okay.
I will set up his incense and everything. His Scaldus. There's a man we believe to be innocent of crimes. How best do we get him out of this predicament? His name is Lufier.
Me looking up divination again.
I mean, if you're doing that, the one like how the clerics do it, it's more of a yes or no answers versus like, give you.
Officer truthful.
No, it says it's a short phrase, cryptic rhyme, or an omen.
Okay.
It's not yes or no.
I skulled this specifically.
He's the god of justice, man. If anybody
Yeah.
should know, it'd be him. You can think on it a minute.
Yeah. The other two can continue the conversation.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, your father's from there, right? Really rough place. Were you there too, Lucy, or did your family get out before that happened?
I visited there before, but it was under business circumstances.
I see. Taking out the pleasant sort of business.
I mean, that's quite debatable. I mean, the business itself is pleasant, but dealing with all the ugly sides of it isn't.
I see. Yeah, I mean, my master took me there kind of to point out the fact that you got to see the worst to see the best in the world. You have to also experience the worst sort of thing. Part of my training, he said. Didn't care much for it, to be honest. I mean, kind of made me appreciate being from my hometown, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sure stuff like that would really make you see the good in everything else.
Indeed, kind of.
How beautiful everything is.
Yeah, it also kind of gave me that kind of my need to want to help everything and make the world better kind of came from there, honestly. I saw that and I went, people got to fix it, right? Make it better, because, I mean, when it gets that bad, it's just got to turn things around, right? People need better lives.
You're right.
Been to quite a few covered cities, actually.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you're looking at my list?
Yeah. Because
Yeah, I figured
you hit Gastio, and I was like, instantly just on it, and then didn't let you finish the rest of the list.
No. I'm pretty sure I've hit my master went to all of them because he was a painter and he comes from another country, so
Yeah.
like,
You've hit like 4
Yeah, I
Maybe.
figured I've been to both countries. I remember seeing it. It's part of the reason my master was like, you hide those fucking hands and never show them to anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just not a big fan of the, I've been to both sides of the thing. I've been around, so. Like I said, I've experienced the slavery stuff firsthand.
Hmm.
Well, at least as far as witnessing it, I should say.
So have I.
Rough and really, it's a bit of a. I mean, it's a kind of a trigger word for me. I get pretty riled up about it.
Slavery?
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I mean, there was this one time a master. I saw this one kid getting sold off, and master kind of smacked the kid in the street. This is back when I kind of like later in my training, but I may have done something to that owner without my master's knowledge, which then we had to leave the city for immediately.
Well, for what it's worth, I think you did the right thing.
I think so. My master kind of beat me for it, but said he was proud of me. Real mixed messages there, but
I think he may have been just wanting to instill carefulness into you,
probably.
albeit through an odd way, but
Well, I mean, when I mean beat me, I don't mean like it's like to a pulp or anything. He just smoked me on the head with his cane, really hard.
that sounds about right. But I do think that is admirable of you. But do be careful, alright? The only reason why I say or do anything is I want to make sure that a lot of you all are safe. It would be rather saddening if anything were to happen to you all. I mean, think, had I not said anything, Einar could have walked out of that door and come tomorrow, may not have walked back through it again.
I suppose that's possible,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I mean, and I understand what you mean, Miss Evelyn. Just bit of a making sure everybody else is right. You can take care of everybody.
I think it's important, especially since, from what I hear, that a lot of us have rather similar outlooks on things.
It seems that way.
But I do just want to make sure that a lot of you all are safe. But for the meantime, it is important, though, that we make sure that all of this is... we have to complete it, I think, as soon as possible, before any harm could potentially become of this man.
I agree. I think the earlier we get on this, the better, and we might have to explore our routes to get this done proper.
Roots?
Oh, sorry, just expression. Like, explore the routes as in, like, looking for sources, right? I mean, honestly, this is a puzzle of a man being accused of crimes, so knowing exactly which crimes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Normally, whenever I hear roots, it oftentimes talks about heritage.
Oh, that's another word for. That's another way to go for it. Yeah.
Well, I do think that we definitely should be rather thorough. And frankly, a side effect of potentially getting through this would be that it would make Beck's word a lot less credible. Which is important.
Indeed. I mean, I agree. This does sound like a right bastard.
Okay. Einar,
Yo.
As you're concentrating on the spell and after you've asked the question, the voice, you feel yourself as if your mind as is being transported into some sort of courthouse. This large area that seemingly one that you've never seen before. You see this kind of angelic figure sitting behind the main kind of podium, like the where the judge's seat is. You see scales weighing on either side, and, other rows of angels and celestials kind of surround the area along the sides. Looking at him, make a religion check. This doesn't appear to be High Scaldus himself. But this seems to be one of their archons or something. A higher up celestial.
Mhm.
And you hear the voice kind of ring out as you see this image before you. And it's this very like valiant but also strong kind of heavy voice. Words are like a bond, as are some crimes. Your current path is similar. One thing leads to another. And the vision kind of grows bright with light as it fades.
Can you type that for me too?
Write that down. Write that down.
Yes, I am copy and paste.
Ba-ra-ba-ba. Hmm.
This is Einar's face as soon as he pops out of consulting the Elder God.
Those are some crime. Marcus was right. They are connected. You okay there, Arnar? You look like you just had a brain.
He went into a different room.
Okay.
But anywho, continue on. Not sure if I
Einar
was
come out after his little revelation.
Yeah, I was looking for where he typed it. I just found it. So
Ow, my body. Ow. Ugh.
Einar would come back in. I've consulted the Elder Gods.
And what did they say?
Words are like a bond, as are some crimes. Your current path is similar. One thing leads to another.
Aha! I was right. They're connected.
I simply asked if there was a way that we could prove Lucia's innocence. So it seems that what we're doing is connected to the mission given to us.
Right. Then maybe, depending on how things develop, by solving this one, we might be able to get closer to the other.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Yes. We should find out how much time he has until his trial. That would give us a better time scale of when we need to deal with those slavers.
Mm.
I mean, who would we ask about that sort of thing?
Perhaps the gods?
Oh, sounds like a plan. Marcus will walk out the door.
Well, there he goes.
Marcus! Follow after him.
Yes, Miss Evelyn?
Maybe not oh so inconspicuously walk out directly and ask a guard as to when... I
Do,
mean,
do, do you
technically what you're
think the
doing isn't
innkeeper might
wrong,
know?
but maybe. I mean, she did say that she did care for him, right?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, this is also like a tavern inn, right? Like, there's people who drink
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Are there any guards in here?
You did see a few come in with you, after all the commotion. Let's see. Yes.
Perfect,
Magical
Marcus.
things.
Marcus smiles. Like, don't worry, I got this.
Okay.
Okay.
So
you're heading
Mark,
out
Ow, my
to
arms.
the main area.
yeah, Marcus heads down the main area. He scans the area, and I'm assuming I see the guards.
Yeah, they're currently sitting in a booth at the moment, and they've got quite a few. They've got quite a. They've had a few.
Perfect. Marcus will go up to the innkeep, ask for a few rounds.
Okay. Oh, anything in particular?
What are those gentlemen over there drinking? He says, pointing at the guards.
I think just standard ale.
Oh, great. I'll get some standard ale then. A jug's worth, if you don't mind.
Sure. Pour some and jugs worth. That'll be about 4 copper.
Sure. He hands her just a silver, just to keep it simple for him.
Okay.
Keep the change.
Oh,
And
thank
he will. No worries. He will wander over to the guys. Hi, gents. Mind if I join you? I feel like drinking. I hate drinking alone.
Sure, man. Come on over.
Oh, sounds great. Marcus will sit down with them with a open smile, pour a drink. Would you all like a topper?
Oh, yeah, definitely could use one, yeah.
Oh, of course, here.
On you, right? Yeah?
Oh, of course, on me, friend, on me.
Yeah, go on.
Pours him a topper. It's like, whew. Well, I tell you, this day's been crazy here. I'm just a tourist out of town, and, I saw that scene in the streets today. That was nuts, eh?
Oh, God, yeah, that was rough. You see this, like, brown-haired gentleman, pale face, somewhat built, in normal standard guards armor. And you see another fellow, blonde hair, a little bit longer, more of a slimmer kind of face, and he's seemingly half elf. The other guy's a falcon human. The half elf kind of looks over towards you. Just terrible day.
No. I mean, this might be a little early in the conversation, but would I be able to insight to see why they think it's terrible? Like, they seem like it's terrible because they like the captain, or they just...
You'd probably have to talk a little bit more.
I figured. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a rough thing. Like, I mean, he was did you know the man?
You see the half elven fella kind of look towards you and give a nod. I handled him. I was under his jurisdiction and handling directly under him, so I knew him quite well, I guess you could say.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Enough for him being my captain and all. Not really any other. I mean, I never spoke to him outside of work-related duties, but he's always been quite upstanding. See the other guard. I'm sure it'll blow over. It'll be fine after it. It's whatever, right? You shouldn't listen to the other guys. Saying that he should be put to death for what he's done. I'm pretty sure You know, right? He's always been really good. Surely not, man.
I mean, he does seem like he was rather adamant on his innocence. I mean, I realize the guilty usually are, but seems a little out of character from what I gather. I mean, does he have like a nice big house and like riches kind of lying around for doing all these crimes and kind of like make him seem suspicious or something?
See the half-elven fellow. Not really looking up, just takes another swig of his ale. Well, I mean, he lives in a, he's captain of the guard. One of the captains of the guard, at least, has a fairly nice looking estate, but that's just because of.
Oh, yeah, nothing out of the ordinary sort of thing, though, right? I mean, position and all that.
I don't think so. No, he's always been very hardworking. It's just terrible.
I mean,
gone.
Oh, so I mean, from what I gather, I mean, he must have obviously. I mean, I'm curious. I mean, like I said, a stranger this lands. I've always been a little fascinated by this sort of situation, but I mean, if he is like, what's like the time frame for this sort of thing? Like, they're looking to just try to lie. I'm sure they'll give him a chance to prove his innocence, right? If he is.
God, I think I was trying to listen in because I was listening to some of the other conversations because some of the guards don't really like him. Some of all the guards are like, yeah, put him to death, whatever, all that stuff. Seemingly about a few weeks, possibly. I don't know. Things like these court things could take ages sometimes. So it could be weeks, could be months.
Yeah, well, yeah. Mm-hmm. It does sound like they seem to be in a rather odd hurry with this, doesn't it?
No idea. I don't have no idea about the law, of government. How they put them. We just apprehend them. We don't really like.
Oh.
Hey, this is what you are. We're just like, you go here, watch this thing.
I get it. It's not like they call you before the court after an arrest.
Yeah, no, they do that sometimes, but it's like I don't really pay attention to those sorts of things. They don't really call me on too much. I don't know why. But yeah.
It seems fascinating. I mean, interesting. I mean, you guys seem like have known this captain for a bit, and he doesn't seem like the sort to you. I mean, odd, but why are the other guards so against him? Is it just like they believe the lies, or is there something personal going on there?
I don't know. So there's a few captains, the guards for various jurisdictions. Some of them, haven't worked under him, so they don't know what he's like. So they just believe what's been said.
No, that's fair.
Us, being directly under him, we've known him for a while, and he's always been such an upstanding citizen and captain that I couldn't, imagine him doing this sort of thing.
It seems interesting. Like, do you guys appoint like a court lawyer for these sort of things, or is he going to have to find his own defense?
I don't know how exactly it works. I think he finds one. If you're rich enough, then you can, find one. He's allowed one. But if you're not rich enough, you're usually appointed one. Could get rather shitty ones. I've seen a few shitty ones. Takes some last week. Yeah, you remember that guy? I don't remember that guy. The one with the beard, that really long, like really thin blue beard. No. Fuck.
Marcos kind of nods. I see. This is, I tell you, this is very weird. For the sake of that, I've gotten most of the info Marcus is needing. He will continue
Yeah.
chatting with them about other various information, like random things, right? Like,
Yeah.
Hey, so you guys got like kids or wives, or like
Wait,
basic chit chat. So it's not just
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
You can
he'll
insight
also
check.
talk about his like stuff with painting and stuff. But I'll insight check to see what they think of the situation.
Okay.
26.
So, the half elven guy seems very concerned and worried. He's more along the lines of like he doesn't know what's going to happen. The more cherry falcon man seems to be, more optimistic about it all. He's like, yeah, he'll be fine. He'll get out of it. This is all just gonna blow over.
Yeah, he believes that the law is truthful and right, and then
Yeah,
he's obvious. The innocent are proven guilty, or the innocent are proven innocent all the time.
He's a fucking idiot. You can tell that he's an idiot. Like he's not the brightest.
Yeah.
So he's like, it'll be fine. But the half elven fellow seems to be concerned. Talking about corruption and everything. Those are very much in lines of things that could put a good man under who basically did no wrong.
If he starts talking about corruption, Marcus would try to kind of subtly see if he can get a name of anyone specific.
He's not gonna bring it up.
Okay, fair enough.
But just for the crimes that he's been put for.
Yeah. Okay. And Marcus will be after a few drinks with the guys, getting him nice and tipsy, buying him a full round. Marcus will grab some food, and after a bit, he goes, "Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, gentlemen. I'm glad to see this city is under such good protection as men like yourselves."
Did Marcus drink that any at all?
Yeah, he had a few.
Did he drink? He had a few. Okay.
Not enough to get himself drunk, but maybe a slight buzz.
Yeah. They both would have, definitely gotten more drunk. They were already like pretty much,
Tipsy,
hitting that limit, and now they're just.
Yeah,
like,
basically, Marcus was doing that, sipping the beer to make sure they didn't notice he wasn't drinking. But he was basically letting them outpace him 2 to 3 to 1.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
The other guy's just like a mess. He's like almost face down at the table. He's like pulling his head up. It's like, yeah. The other guy's just kind of leaning back. The half elven fellow just kind of got this very somber, like drink till, like drink to death kind of feel. And he's just very like, depressive drinker right now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hey, after his conversation, Marcus will, after the time it takes him to, he'll head back up to the room to talk to the others.
Okay.
To let him know the info he picked up.
Alright. You can TLDR that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What is everyone else doing?
Evelyn had kind of just been sitting around, more or less idly. Her expression sort of blank.
I bought a mobile forge.
She doesn't seem to pay notice to that.
A mobile forge.
Yes. He pulls out a little figurine. Apparently, if I use the command word, I'm not going to say it in here for fear of burning the place down, but it turns into an actual forge.
Command word is forged.
Oh, that's really
Instantly
great.
Hold on, I'll be right back again. I forgot the damn thing. I actually got up.
Alright, sorry. What did Lucia say?
I just said it's really quite amazing, isn't it?
I also bought some phasium. It's a special kind of ore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what is the, like, general knowledge for people with phasium?
Not much. Not like general knowledge for people with like like the special metals and things. People don't really know all that much beyond adamantine, mithril, like just general populace. If you go adventuring out, if you start to like hit the higher
If you
tiers
have been around wars,
and stuff, roll me history check. You vaguely have like seen them. You don't know what they are, but you could even just assume that they might have been, enchanted magical weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
You've seen like flaming swords, they look like magical weapons. Like a lot of them look like they're magical weapons, but they're inbuilt properties and can be enhanced with magical enhancements placed upon them. So they're a good base. Basically an extra.
How much did that cost you?
Oh, for 5 ingots? About 1,000 gold.
How much money did you fucking have? Spend a lot.
you give us so much money.
Well, I'll tell you, I only have like
I don't know.
150 gold now. So.
Yeah, I know you don't. Yeah, because it was like 1,000 for the phasium if you bought 5, and then I think like 300 or
like-
something.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I'm not buying useful things, Lucia.
At
Just
any
giving
rate,
her money away.
What money?
From what I understand about this ore, if I craft a weapon with it, has a unique property that sometimes allows a person to hit another person within melee range with a magical force.
Sounds dangerous.
Oh, it sounds fun. I've just been debating on who I should make a weapon for.
When Ida says it looks fun, Lucia looks over to Eva like, save me from this conversation, please.
She's not actually paying much attention. She has been kind of more or less expressionless, kind of looking off to her own direction.
Einar will give her a rock.
Just
Evelyn or Lucia?
Yeah.
Evelyn. He just goes outside for a minute, picks up a rock, comes back inside, puts it in her hand.
You kind of place it in her hand, and as her hand had just been kind of like lying there motionlessly as well, and she kind of looks down to it and kind of absent-mindedly just kind of murmurs, "Sandstone," before she looks up at Einar and seemingly from that kind of regains cognition. "Oh, hi. Why did you give me this?"
Oh, well, unfortunately you identified it before I could tell my joke, but I'm going to tell you my joke anyway. I don't know much about rocks, but I've seen some real schist before.
Huh. Clever. Well, thank you for
What's
this.
going on in your brain?
This place just has a lot of memories. Brings back a lot of memories, rather.
Fair
It's
enough.
not exactly. Well, you know how you have your own story regarding your own village. It's not a happy memory. Or many, that for that matter.
Well, all I gotta say, if we ever went to my hometown, you all would be very bored.
I find that boredom can sometimes be a better gift than some, honestly. Where there's boredom, there's a lapse for creation. I mean, you took up forging, right? That's a form of craftsmanship.
Well, it is craftsmanship.
Well, yes, but one of many.
Although I did buy a new book. He pulls out a book. It's the Beginner's Guide of Enchanting. Soon, I'll be a one-stop shop.
Tell me how that goes. I only know so much about enchanting. I mean, I know that enchanting is a type of magic that is meant to alter the existing properties of something, but I never quite understood, how to apply that to objects.
Well, I'll tell you when I know, because I have no idea either.
Yeah,
In
like I
fact,
said,
I'm still working on this book of cantrips. There's this really cool one called a booming blade.
I think I know what you mean by that. It creates a loud, explosive, I wouldn't say it's a gust, it's more of a sound, but yeah, you get what I mean, right?
Yes.
Well, I obviously don't know it, but if you ever... I don't know, maybe I could teach you something.
Very
If you
well.
don't learn it already quickly, that is.
Oh, we'll see how well I pick this stuff up.
I'm sure you won't have much problem. Say, how long did it take for you to learn how to, forge? Who taught you?
Ah. I've been forging since I was a wee lad. Of 5.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it difficult to do such?
I was always a bit larger than the other half-elves.
I would assume you being, what, 6 foot...
Honestly, I forgot how tall he is. He's like at least 6.5 feet tall.
Yeah, I think you said like 6'7" or some shit.
He's a basketball player.
Yeah, no, I can believe it.
But my master, he taught me how to use the runes of his people. He is what you might call a storm giant.
Do you mean that in the literal sense or the... I'm not entirely sure how you would call it, or make it a figurative thing. Are you speaking literally? Actually, does Evelyn even know what a storm giant is?
Ina would probably be the only one. Evelyn Marcus in stories. Make me a history check.
All right, with disadvantage or
Yeah.
okay.
I think Marcus is here to.
But
I mean, I'm technically still down with the.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I would still be talking to them while this is going on, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to.
You've heard about storm giants from stories and tales.
you're not implying that they actually exist, do you?
Oh, they certainly do exist.
Have you seen one?
I trained under one.
Oh, right. I mean,
I'm sure you'll meet him one day. He's a great, great person. He does have a love for pranks, though.
huh. I
He
see
said
what you do.
he said he
Uniform.
dated a Fey woman at some point that kind of sparked that in him.
Aren't like storm giants? I don't know, 100 feet tall or something?
Where did you hear that?
I mean, you know, Just some of the stories that I heard when I was little.
I assure you, no. Not 100 feet. Closer to like 26.
She kind of like opens her mouth and then just closes and then nods like that's the most normal thing she's ever heard.
Nothing odd about a 20-foot-6 tall person teaching a 6-foot tall person how to forge. Yeah, that's totally
Exactly.
normal. Like,
It's ripping her fucking brain hemispheres in half.
it's only only 4 times your size. Yeah, it'd be like a cat teaching a mouse how to play piano. Nothing weird here.
It's like he likes pranks. Like what? He throws like avalanche-sized snowballs at people.
When he
Yeah, everyone's just.
he gives a
having
Dutch
lot of
oven,
fun.
but when he does it, it just explodes.
Oh no. Yeah, everyone's just staring kind of at Einar right now, just like very, very much astonished is a good word.
You seem quite surprised.
I think that surprised doesn't even begin to explain.
Well, perhaps it's just a northern thing, but we have giants up there. Mostly frost giants, and they're assholes.
There's a difference between the different. I mean, obviously because of the name, but rather, how does that? I'm sorry, you're going to have to start leading me with some of these questions. I honestly don't know what to ask.
Well.
Well, for starters, was your hometown or island, was it primarily consisting of these giants, or?
Oh,
did you
no.
all- Oh.
Not at all. Everybody there was normal sized. My teacher, he was up in the mountain. That's where he lived. One day he shouted from atop the mountain, and whosoever made it up there was, well, his pupil from that day forward. And there was a few of us that went, but no one got there, except for me. It's about 1,000 steps. I had to fight a frost troll, believe it or not.
You've seen quite a lot. A lot of things that I frankly only thought belonged in storybooks. Huh.
Evelyn, we fought undead creatures. Why is giant so out of the ordinary?
I mean, let's be completely honest. An undead creature is about a 30% chance at every cemetery you pass by.
Okay. We fought a tornado.
I mean, you didn't see me treating that much, differently. Don't get me wrong, this entire adventure that we've been kind of on has been a series of very interesting, beings. It's just that, at least with, zombies, I've came across a few, and, well, with elementals, I've at least heard tales of them. I'm a bard, after all. Exchange of information of things like that is kind of what we do, but in this case, it's... I mean, quite literally, I only heard ever stories of such.
Oh, the thing about giants, you just gotta make sure you don't get under their feet.
I would imagine so. Yes. Now, exactly how does a 20-something foot giant translate things to a, frankly, prepubescent boy? Or be even before that, a boy.
Oh, I didn't go up this mountain when I was 5. This happened in my later years. I started forging when I was 5, because that's just what our town did.
Okay.
That would have been
And
absolutely insane. I would not have been able to fight a frost giant at 5 years old. What am I?
I didn't mean fight, but I mean, you said that you had. Did you
Frost
have two
troll.
different? No, no. I mean, two different masters by chance between a frost giant and who else taught you forging? Was it your father or something?
Something of the sort, yes.
Something of the sort.
Yes. The chieftain. The way that my town worked, the best smith became chieftain of the village, and he would teach the younglings of sorts the way to forge.
So a sort of father figure.
Yes, like I said, of sorts.
That sounds nice.
It was a simple life.
Um. Well, I mean, I feel as though I don't need to say this quite, but if I am asking too many questions, do let me know.
Okay.
I suppose for my life, it was never quite the flashiest, so to speak. I mean, of course, until I decided to become a bard, but up until then, it'd been more or less repetitive drab. So hearing about all of this is eye-opening, to say the least.
Well, I suppose my normal is weird to everybody down here, and your normal is weird to me.
Well, I suppose so. I feel as though I don't need to even ask this, but do you miss the simplicity of your home? I mean, you say that it was boring, but home is also home.
I like to think I carry home with me. Wherever there's a forge, there's home.
That's a good mentality.
Fortunately, it's one I have to live by now.
Well, suppose I'm curious. At some point in the future, what would you like to do? You
What do
carry
you
home with
mean?
you. Do you wish to rebuild?
Up there?
Maybe not quite back at the island, but I mean,
Well, I suppose I could rebuild where we are. Back at Skyglass.
it's true. Add your own personal flair to the lot of things there. I suppose I'm just curious because, well, a lot of us have come together, and frankly, we don't know absolutely everything about the other. I suppose I'm curious that instead of the past, what about the future?
To be quite honest, I haven't ever really thought too much about it. Kind of odd, considering I sometimes see into it.
Well, for some, that's too close to the future than they'd rather hope. I don't blame you for wanting to stay perhaps a little bit away from it, or subconsciously anyway. For me, anyway, I mean, it would likely surprise the likes of Marcus and Candy, but I would like to make a change, like them.
A change?
Yeah, an everlasting difference on the world.
Oh.
Candy and Marcus both desire to, say, turn the world into a brighter place. For some, literally. I wish to do the same.
I see. Well, that makes my one goal seem silly.
I don't think there's no such thing as a silly goal, per se. It's just a goal. What is it?
I wanted to get that whoopee cushion underneath Damien and make him look like a fool. Just
Oh, it's
kidding.
a short-term goal.
That is the goal, but no, that's not the actual goal I was alluding to. I wish to craft the greatest set of armor this world has ever seen.
Really?
Yes.
Do you have your eye on any particular materials?
Not quite yet.
Well, I for sure hope that you eventually find what you're looking for. I mean, I remember in my past, there was talk about this one metal. It kind of sounds like, and she kind of, like, she was kind of tapping her chin before she kind of thinks about it, and kind of, like, lightly sticks out her tongue and just, like, pokes at her tongue. Kind of like this. Tongue something, I don't remember. I'm much more of a crystal person than a metals person, rather.
Tongue something?
Yeah,
Are you talking about Tomahogany?
it might be. I'm not entirely sure.
Because that's mithril.
Oh, well, maybe it's Mithril that I'm talking about.
Well, the reason I know that is I reforged Gyol with it.
Wait, no. Yeah, no, I've seen the Mithril that you're talking about. Oh, you haven't. I believe Tungsten had a... I said the actual word. No! Erases time 5 seconds back. I suppose that the metal that I'm talking about, it's more of a, I think it has a bit of more of a blackish sheen.
Hmm.
Oh, I suppose if I come across it, I'll know, but other than that... I suppose we'll see. But for your goal, I find it admirable. I mean, other than, say, what I'm thinking of or Mithril, I don't know, do you know any particularly strong things that might get you there? Or are you just sort of looking around for that perfect mineral?
Oh, I'm looking around. I know of a few things, but they're not very good. They seem good on paper, of course, but for someone as diverse as our group, it wouldn't be that great for us. There is impervium, but it's very heavy.
Mm. I imagine you're kind of referring to like that of, you're looking for something sort of the metallic, uh, almost something comparable to that of, say, carbon. Something a lot more, what would I say, diverse and capable of a lot of things.
Yes, of sorts.
People look towards things like, say, the crystal diamond, and with it being extremely tough, it often has a reputation of being invulnerable. But the reality is, it has a very, very, very fragile structure. If you strike it in the right place, it actually will shatter. You're looking for something that may be as strong as, say, diamond, but not with nearly as many weak spots.
That's one way to put it, I suppose.
Well, now you've got me thinking about what a, say, maybe not perfect, but um, that most amazing armor might look like.
Well, until I find the right material for it, I'm gonna hold off on drawing up any designs for it.
Suppose you're right?
No reason to put the cart before the horse.
Is that before or after the 10 wheels?
Look, one of these days you're all gonna thank me for buying those 10 wheels.
Sure we will. But until then, I hope that in the future we can maybe get you closer to that goal.
Well, adventuring around will get me there.
Sure.
Suppose there are some other goals, but not quite sure how to go about them at the moment.
Anyways, I guess at this point, Marcus would probably have come back up to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
So I got that info we were looking for.
Oh? What'd you find out?
Yeah. Well, apparently a couple of the guards downstairs are actually, what's the word I'm looking for here? They work for the captain.
Oh, so they had connections to the, well, to him?
Yeah, and, I mean, honestly, based off what they're saying, I'm more positive than ever this is obviously just a big fraud job. They were saying generally, to their knowledge, a trial takes anywhere between weeks and months to set up, but honestly, if I was going to put my money on it, this being a frame job, they're probably going to try to railroad this trial as quick as possible.
I wouldn't doubt you.
So at best, I'm thinking we got like a week. 2 on the outside, honestly.
I've got to admit I am a bit concerned. Last time I checked.
Since you guys are looking for a lawyer, perhaps a lawyer can try to prevent it from happening so fast while we find this camp.
Whatever we do, we have to be careful. Last time I checked, Mr. Beck did not have this much power. If he's able to speed up a proceeding, that's a bit scary.
I mean, the fact of the matter is I'm worried about it. So, I mean, we could have to talk to a lawyer. Maybe we could hire him a lawyer if he doesn't have one already. But we'll need to talk. I mean, the problem is we are kind of like shooting in the dark. We'd have to talk to him specific or... Bloody hells, I didn't ask if the man was married or something. We could have talked to the family.
I mean, you could always go back and ask.
At this point, I don't know how much information the two would be able to give that would be useful.
I mean, I'm sure if you asked the barkeep, she'd know.
Oh, that's a good point. She said she knew the man.
I was about to say, isn't he well known? Shouldn't anybody know?
That's true, so she would know. Sure, I'll go down and ask the barkeeper, I guess, quick. Back in a flash.
Do you think you might be able to bring her back here? That way you won't be talking about.
Sure, I suppose she would be okay to visit us in our rooms for a quick talk.
Well, no, I'm not the barkeep, but the tavern keeper, correct?
Yeah, that's who I mean.
Ah, right. Well, yeah, she did seem to be rather hospitable. As long as we wouldn't be tearing her away from her work, or if we were to wait perhaps a little bit later, we could always check.
Yeah, sure, I'll go and see if she's got a minute.
Alright then.
One sec, Marcus will go down and go talk to the tiefling owner of the inn that I keep forgetting the name of.
Also, I think I'm going to be dipping soon.
Yeah, same here. I think we're about ready for a dip. Storm, you there?
I was muted.
My leg is bleeding.
Yeah,
What?
the
What?
name of the inn is Lost Fawn. Anyways, going down, you see her there, and she's currently not too busy. It's soon to get about that time, but not too busy at the moment.
It does. Marcus will kind of ask her if she would be cool having a quick conversation.
Oh, sure. Henry, can you tend to everything else here for a moment? She kind of like cleans herself off and washes her hands and makes her way over. To your rooms?
Oh, just quick. Yeah, we just wanted a quick private conversation. We wanted to ask a couple questions about the captain, and we didn't want to make it awkward in front of the area.
All right. She'll follow you to your
Okay.
rooms.
I'll bring her up to the room.
Oh, hello, everyone.
Hi. Hi.
She closes the door behind her. You wanted to ask some quick questions?
Yeah, the captain. By any chance, does he have family, like a wife or kids or something?
He has a partner at the moment. But I don't believe they're married yet. But he does have a partner.
No, we were just hoping to try to help him out because we're not unaware of his situation. Because we were hoping to help him get a lawyer or something. That is a good
Oh.
Samaritan sort of act.
Right. It's possible that his partner could be doing that. For him. But I mean, if you're wanting to do so, that's good as well.
Any chance you could tell us the partner's name? We would love to get a chat with him. See if we can get any information. See if we can help.
Riala.
What's she
Real.
look like?
Elfin woman. She'll give you the details. That of which I have not prepared yet.
Yeah, don't worry. Just say we got the details to find her in the next session.
Yeah.
That's all we need. Much appreciated, man. This'll hopefully help us a lot in helping the captain. As we said, I have a very sneaking suspicion things are afoot in this town.
Right. Was there anything else?
Looks at Miss Evelyn.
Nothing that I can think of other.
I think that's everything.
Yeah, no, that's just about everything, I believe.
Thank you very much
Although-
for your time. Oop.
Do we know where we might be able to, Actually, out of character, would it make sense to ask of his place of residence too? Because I remember that, of course, we asked for, blah, 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 like if he had a partner, but I don't believe. I forgot if that was under the guise of like simple, like, that's like lawyer information, or if we were just asking for the sake of asking.
Well, we have made ourselves clear that we're trying to help the guy.
Okay.
I mean, on the other hand, I think asking whether the innkeep would know, the partner would definitely know. So it's a question we can ask the partner too.
Yeah, it's just where do we find her?
No, I figured that was in the information. What we're super fast tracking because Storm doesn't have it on him.
Oh, okay.
You should be able to find her at the Divergent Estates.
Yeah.
I'll write down the address.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's all right. Is there anything else?
I think that's everything. I think we're all ready for calling early, guys. We'll grab dinner, call early for the night.
Well, maybe, but other than that, I'd probably just want to catch up with Aurelia and catch her up on a few things.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you two care of that. I'm going to head to my room, kind of get myself ready.
All right. Take care then.
She would say, all right. I wish you all luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. She'll head out. I give you a polite nod and head out the door.
Hey. So Marcus will head to his room.
Okay.
It's 5 p.m. now?
Yep.
Ish. Perfect. Marcus will spend a short rest to gain expertise in stealth.
Okay. Make a check.
I
Right.
succeed.
I was about to shit myself otherwise.
Well, I have my inspiration. That's kind of what I was gearing towards earlier. It's like,
You and I know that we've both seen more horrid things happen.
perfect. Now that I have a crazy good stealth, and Knights have fallen, once night falls, Marcus will take out his mask,
Oh my fucking god.
place it upon his head.
I can't wait for Marcus to get abducted.
That's part of the reason I went stealth as opposed to perception for this one.
Oh,
It's gonna be
I
hard
know.
to see him.
But this is just reeking of Moonstone's debacle.
A
Oh,
little less so. Capturing Marcus would be hard as hell.
that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, the guy could literally run up and down buildings, sides of buildings.
Oh my fucking
Uh.
god. He just runs like
Okay.
spirals
And he
in
will,
the corridor.
with night down and everybody out, Marcus will stealth out into the night.
It actually would be more about like 6 p.m. now, actually. So, because your conversation would have taken like an hour.
Yeah, fair enough. So in any
30
case, Marcus will
minutes.
stealth out into the night with his translucent skin.
Oh yeah, and it's basically winter, so it's definitely dark out.
So
Autumn.
Hmm?
It's
So-
autumn
it's
currently.
autumn. Yeah. In any case, it would be dark
autumn,
pretty.
yeah.
By 7 p.m., it'd be dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, we'll go ahead and leave it off there.
Cool. Did you want me to roll a stealth check just to get past the party?
Sure.
Oh my fucking god.
Wow.
Who was Marcus bunking with?
Huh?
Who was Marcus bunking with?
Absolutely nobody for this exact
Nobody?
reason.
Okay, and I can remember because
No.
everything got a bit.
I'm gonna try anyway.
See, I think it would have been funny if Candy bunked with Marcus.
Oh,
They
I
would have
was
gone out
thinking
together.
Yeah, Candy would have been
They were
joining me, but
trying,
Candy didn't
right?
go with bunk with Marcus, so Marcus is going
Solid.
out alone.
31. Good God.
Yeah, Marcus is literally moving through the city like a goddamn invisible ghost.
Did Marcus tell Candy about what he was doing?
Tonight? No.
No? Okay.
Candy knows about the whole Dayman stuff, but he never had a chance to talk to Candy one-on-one.
Okay.
I was
Never
hoping
trust-
to, but unfortunately we didn't get to separate.
Yep.
Never
And then also
trust
with
a
Nikki
scrawny
leaving, it
Southerner.
doesn't help.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
Nikki left early, so I didn't have a chance to. But yes, now Marcus is stealthing with a 31 into the night, as he is
Never
shadow.
trust-
I just
never
love how I got a
trust
nat 20.
a skinny Southerner. Absolutely.
Yeah, this will go fine. I got a good stealth roll. I'm invisible. People can't see me.
Overconfidence is a flimsy shield.
He's sticking to them rooftops. He's Batmaning this bitch up, man.
Oh my.
I like how
fucking God.
we've progressed a total of 5-6 hours in game.
So yeah,
I mean, to be fair, we are slowing down because we keep missing players too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also there was a lot of conversation. There was a lot of like details.
That conversation
and
was
things
filler,
that-
man.
Well, not the filler. He meant like with
Not the
everything going on with the
filler.
with the crime
All
thing
all
we're
this
working out.
lately.
Okay, that makes sense.
Anyways,
Yeah, it's been a lot of talk about that.
just for the next setup for the next game, Storm, did we want Marcus's debacles to be done pre-next session, or did you want to save that for session?
I had stuff planned. So, I mean, it depends if everyone wants to watch what goes on. If we
I'm
want
sure
to do
it
it in
would be
session,
hilarious.
or we could.
I mean, it would help to watch just so then it's not confusing if Marcus has to explain it later.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
it
sure.
in session.
That's fine. Then we'll do it in session. That's fine. I was just asking for your guys' sake.
But
I
also,
don't think-
if you like wanted to do it, like, because you know sometimes we're waiting for people, we could do it during that time.
That time.
Like,
yeah.
just start it.
Yeah, that's true. And then we don't have to, if we're waiting on someone to join, that's a good point. Just get the time moving.
Mm.
Oh,
But
God.
yeah. Hope y'all have fun.
Yeah.
What is the plan for the next day?
I mean, part of this will have to determine how Marcus's nighttime shenanigans go,
That
but we
is
gotta speak.
true.
Okay, well, what was the plan?
The normal-
like,
the
the
normal
plan we
plan was
planned
to-
on doing.
The normal plan
You-
was to gain information via going over to this individual, amongst other things. Like, we're really just sleuthing around for information so you can better find somebody who's apt enough to take the job legally. But of course, what happens is entirely dependent on what happens with Marcus.
I mean, depending on what happens during the nighttime shenanigans, because again, I can't predict what's happening to Marcus out here.
Yeah.
We could either gain a lot of great info, we could gain absolutely no info, or Marcus could get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I guess it really depends on what happens with that stuff, to be honest.
Yeah. But as far as everything going neutral, we're definitely going to have to go talk to the partner.
Okay.
Like, that's a given. We're going to the partner for sure to get info with the lawyer and try to figure out how much time we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm stopping the recording now because we don't need to discuss all this on the